her your face, fill up the space. Barbados needs you right now. Barbados needs you right now. She can't escape being afraid. Fill her with you right now. Barbados needs you right now. Show her your face, fill up the space. Barbados needs you right now. Barbados needs you right now. She can't escape being afraid. Fill her with you right now. Barbados needs you right now. How I fall down, bring with it a sound that points her to you right now. Erase up right now. Fix what we see, and God please fix Barbados. Barbados needs you right now. Let us see you right now. Barbados needs you right now. Barbados needs you right now. Every heart in the world, God needs you to rescue. Storms have come and torn our hearts in two. Barbados needs you. Show her your face, fill up the space. Barbados needs you right now. Barbados needs you right now. Storms may come, but when she calls your name, all things change. Kingdoms fall, one thing forever reigns is your name. The anchor that holds her in pain stays the same. Oh, how sweet to know that your great name will never change. The anchor that holds her in pain stays the same. Oh, how sweet to know that your great name will never change. That's why we're not ashamed to say, Jesus, oh, nobody like you, Jesus. Power is in the name Jesus. Yes, she needs you saved. That's where the power is. You have all of the authority. Only you are the great I am. You're the King of kings. You're the Lord of lords. Kingdoms falling, forever reigns is your name. Oh, how sweet to know that your great name will never change. It stays the same. Show her your face, come fill this space. Barbados needs you right now. Barbados needs you right now.
From Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, boys and girls. Let me welcome you to the Marcia Week Show, and we are coming to you live from Barbados. I'm holding in my hand the national flag of Barbados. So, those of you who are joining us for the first time, and you heard the beautiful national anthem of Barbados, and we play it every night because that is our marching order. That's our song. That's what we march under. It is the national anthem of Barbados. Welcome, welcome. I hope you had a great Sunday. Did you have a good Sunday? Oh my goodness, I had a great Sunday. I was out in the garden, the rain was falling and I had to run back in, but oh, the plants are happy. The plants are very, very happy today because the rain is falling. And, I often say it must be great to, for us to walk in the rain too. Because if outside the plants are happy, they're having a good time, why can't we just have a good time walking in the rain? Remember as children, we would walk in the rain, splash around, and it was so happy. I mean, it was such a happy time. Oh my goodness. Speaking of water, rainwater is so very, very good for us. And I know the people in St. Lucie must have been catching a lot of rainwater today. But we're going to get to some of those issues. Well, tonight, guys, the title of our show is Mia Could Care Less. Mia could care less. And the thing, I have a couple questions for us tonight before I go into greeting anybody. I've got to get a couple things off my chest. Barbados, how much longer will we sit in silence while, as it were, for some people, the ground is shifting beneath our feet? Question for you again. How much longer will we pretend that everything is fine when deep down we know it's not? You remember when she said she pretending to care about people? Seemed like it was a slip of the tongue, but it was what it is. Mia could care less. So why is it that we are caring about how she feels and how she perceives us by us pretending that everything is fine when we know it is not? We know of the families that are hurting. We know of families that are suffering. We know of the long wait at the hospital from St. Lucie to St. Philip. The cries of Barbadians are the same. We can't make ends meet. We can't find work. We can't even trust the water that comes through the pipe. And yet, this government tells us everything is progress. Everything is fine. We are right on schedule. But tell me, what kind of progress is this? When Uber moves in to crush that taxi man's hustle, what kind of progress is that? When Airbnb owners can't keep up with the license fees? What kind of progress when our young people are leaving in droves because they've lost faith in their own country? Only this weekend, I said to a young man, he's about 23, 24 years old, finished Harrison College, and what's it? An exhibition is what it is. Dave could correct me on that. And I asked this young man, where are your friends that went to school with you at Harrison College? Where are they right now? And he says, well, the truth is, majority of them are not here. They're not in the country. They can't stay because, they've lost faith in the country. When migrants are promised opportunity before our own sons and daughters can even find a steady job. What kind of progress is this? These are the questions we need to ask our MPs. These are the questions we really need to seriously, soberly ask Mia Motley. Where is the progress? How do you care? Where's the care? Where is the love? Where's all of that you promised us? That is not care. That is what you call calculated neglect. Calculated neglect. And it's time for Barbadians, all of us, to rise up and say enough is enough. That's why we're going on the streets again this Saturday coming. October 25th, we are out there again, guys. 10 o'clock, we're going to meet right there at Massey in front of Kensington. Because we're saying enough is enough. And can you imagine? We don't get a break. We don't get a break. You don't think that that is unusual? We get no break. The only time we might get a little break is if she puts on a fet and she starts, and giving out free food. For some people, that's a break. October 24th is coming up. And they're planning to do their what do you call it, their conference. And so once again, they're going to share out food and shirts and all of that. That's temporary satisfaction. Folks, we cannot tweet our way out of progress, or post, I should say. We can't post because we don't do too much tweeting, but all we post and we WhatsApp. We can't WhatsApp our way out of this oppression. We can't whisper our way to change. Somebody called me today and they were making lots of different suggestions on what we could do, and great suggestions. But then when I asked them, can you come out on the road with us? What can you do? Can you call into the program? No. Folks, we cannot whisper our way to change. Your voices need to be heard. Your voice activates the change. Your voice is your freedom activator. You got to speak it out. It's time to stand up, to show up. And it's time to march. Why are we marching for? Your job? The jobs, barely any jobs here, and they open up the borders and tell people to come in to take your jobs. And telling you that you must get up and go to Belize and go to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and go to Dominica, where the wages are probably less than half of what you could get in Barbados if you had proper jobs in Barbados. March for your child's future. March for your right to live in a country that values you. Because if Mia could care less, we must care more. We must care more. Do you care about your children? Do you care about Barbados? We're talking about care. Do you care about your own children? Do you care about Barbados? This is a serious thing, It's how much do we love ourselves, that we love ourselves, and we are so afraid that we can't open our mouths to say that something is the matter. What kind of oppression is that? That's some serious oppression. Because I was talking to a big man with children. Hi, Lucinda. Lucinda, I was talking to a big man with children. But people are afraid of victimization, marginalization. There comes a time, though. There comes a time. And I have to say something really strong I want to say to the people in St. Lucie, Because St. Lucie, I believe that you allowed this government to lull you down. I believe you allowed the government to calm you down. And now, look at what's happened. They're telling you to drink the dirty, stinking, foul-smelling water that's frothing up. Good night, Judy Jilks. Mavis, good night. Iretha, I came on and I saw your message there. And I said to Dave, go in and read Aretha's comment. It was so encouraging. You said the battle is not for the faint-hearted, you know. Trust me. It is not for the faint-hearted. And even like this, I wanted to go lay down. But for the brave opposition who have stood up to say, thus far and no further. Is that you? Who is going to stand up and say, thus far and no further? Enough is enough. Wake up and fight for your country, your rights and your freedom. Iretha, that's what I'm on right now. That's where I'm at, Monica. Hi, Teroni, good evening. Hi, Keith, good evening. Bajan boy, I haven't seen you in a long time, Bajan boy. Carol, good evening. Marcia Miller. Good evening, Ronald Archer. Good evening, Randall. Good evening, Bim Lady. Oh, only prayer. Yes, Bim, prayer is going to work. But even the very Bible, Hebrews 11, tells you about faith and works. And I know you know that. So I'm just using the opportunity to say that you're going to pray, but you're going to vote. To say you're only going to pray, you go halfway. The other thing that you have, that's yours, and nobody can take it away because somebody died. So you could do it. It's voting. And you say, well, we're going to put in another person. Well, they do wrong, take them out. That's your power. Reserve that power to yourself. So we must just sit down and take this. No, we're going to pray and we're going to vote. Mystic Angel, good night. Gelbiz, good night. Please say hello to your husband Keith for me. Jefferson Sobers, Queen D. Hi, Winnie. Good evening, Shirley. Shirley, you ready? I just have a resolve inside. I have a resolve inside. I know that this government does not care. Matthew B., I know they don't care. Tanisha, I know. Jacqueline Allen, Mavis Allen, Michael Jilks, good night. Aaron Hunt, I know they don't care. Tonight we're going to talk about, we're going to look even tonight in this green bank. The scam, another scam, huh? Listen to me. Barbados, as far as I know, some of you who've been here longer than I am can tell me. But I've never heard Barbados in any scam internationally. We now have 3 under this government. 3. And you all were behaving so terribly when they went and troubled the sewage. They went underneath there and did that in order to win an election. People were sent underneath there. And I'm not saying no allege. People were sent underneath there to disturb the sewage system so that an election can be won. And we bought it. And there's nobody who's doing this mess internationally and giving Barbados a bad name in the financial sector. Nobody's doing it but them. They're single-handedly doing this. 3 international scams and frauds right now. 3 under this government. And do you know what that is, Sandra? That's when you have like sorry if anybody's eating. I hope you're not eating. But when you have like a sore on your body and the thing is so infected, and all of the stuff oozing out, you know what that is? That's how bad the corruption is in Barbados. The corruption has reached such a level in this country that it's oozing out. Our government is so corrupt that it's oozing out. That's what's happening in this country. Isaiah 53, good night. Marcia, good evening. Cami, Mavis Lashley. Hi, Shirley. Hi, Ryan. And then they stand up on us and they wee on top of us, whatever you call it. And they want to tell us it's beautiful rain that is falling on side. They said, you've never had this rain on you. And all the time, we are being urinated on in this country. Our young people finish university. And Minister Pinocchio is going to tell them that they must leave and go and find a work somewhere else. What a shame. What a shame, Minister. That is just disgraceful. And the young people know it. They know. They know that. They know you're a clown. They know you're Pinocchio. Dalton Spencer, good evening. Marcia, good evening. Good evening, Shirley. We're going to look at the economy, the state of the economies. That we're going to do some of that as well. Teroni, Tanisha, Alwyn Baba, good evening. Good evening. We're going to miss you this evening. Yeah, she careless. She careless. Dave, can you put up the shirt? Did you put up the shirt? I don't know if you put up the shirt yet. Put up the shirt now. I'm going to call. So tonight, guys, I can't even talk to everybody. I can't talk to everybody yet. Yes, we're in a sad state is what we're going to do about it. Well, M. Gardner, you don't need to be suspicious anymore. I am telling you, as I sit on this chair, that was tampered with. Yes, I'm Gardner. I'm telling you. Okay. I got the information. Unless and more than that is being done, and it still don't move us. No. But welcome everybody. I can't call everybody's name because of time. Yes, because of time. But you're welcome. We mean business tonight. We're moving ahead tonight. Share up the live, please. Share up the live, folks. Share up the live. We're going to listen to a dumpling from the dias from Michelle. And Michelle, you know what I love about Michelle? Michelle is not no BDP, nothing. Michelle is an independent like I am. I vote based on I vote based on what's happening before me. Yeah. So let me see. Michelle is going to talk to us via phone tonight. Good night, Michelle.
Good night, Marcia. Good night, Dave. Good night, Lawyer Opposition. Good night, Barbados. I hope everyone is safe.
Yes. Let's see if we can hear you. Can you all hear Michelle?
I hope everyone is safe and dry. Good night to everyone.
Yes. I'm waiting for them to make sure they can hear. Camilo says that she's enjoying the good weather. Yes. Tanisha, Beverly, can you hear Michelle? She's a bit low.
How about now? You can hear me better now?
I think they should be able to hear you better because I'm hearing you a bit better. Yes. They said to speak up.
All right. Good night. Good night, everyone. I hope everyone is enjoying this Sunday, getting ready for work day and school tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, Michelle, I asked you to okay, yes, they can hear. I asked you to call in because you and I were talking today, and you started. I want you to talk to me about what you noticed at the flea market today, because we're talking. Our topic today is me, I could care less. Dave, could you put up the t-shirt, because you sent me this shirt. You get me in trouble, You sent me this shirt. Michelle sent me this shirt, people. Dave, can you put it back up? Thank you. So I'm enjoying my Sunday, and here it is. Me Michelle sent me this shirt, and I laugh out so loud because I thought it was a regular shirt, me a shirt. Well, as I read it a little closer, I realized what it was all about. So, Michelle, what motivated you to do this shirt?
Well, I spend a lot of time, at flea markets. I spent a lot of time at flea markets, and this weekend I was at Christchurch, and what I noticed at the flea market was the unusual amount of vendors selling food. Usually in the flea market, you sell goods, shoes or new stuff. It's usually clothing. It's usually electronics. Those type of merchandise. But I've been in in the flea market doing this for years now, for years, and this is the first time I can honestly say that I have never seen this amount of food selling. And when I say food, I mean groceries, just straight
Groceries, right?
groceries.
Because that's what I wanted to
Canned good,
clarify. Yeah.
right? Canned good. I'm not talking about cooked food or baked goods. I'm talking about groceries, canned foods, cereals, anything in the can, oils, cooking oil, sugar. It was just like, as I walked through and want see what everyone was selling, I would see the young lady selling jewelry, but then on the side she's selling food products. This is different. I've been doing flea markets for a very long time, and I felt different yesterday, watching and just viewing what was going on. Now, it was a pretty slow day, which is very unusual for the flea market. Everyone comes out for a bargain. Everyone comes out. Women come out, buy things. But I just found that they were gravitating more towards the food products and, just basic household goods. They weren't even buying anything like of just wants. They were really buying what was needed. And I'm assuming that the food was needed.
And so tell me the kind of items. So you saw a lot of tin products and like, did you see a lot of like macaroni, flour? Go over the products again.
Box cereal, jelly, peanut butter, canned tuna, sardines, all those canned items they had out there. Oil, cooking oil, all of those things that I said to myself, like, what is going on in Barbados? How is it that, something that, why are we out here with these groceries? I don't understand. So I was kind of bothered by it, thinking about it, the entire day. What is going on that now you're seeing more grocery items versus just selling just regular, clothing or, jewelry or, those type of merchandises.
Yeah.
It was a struggle. It was a struggle to view it. On Friday, I had a conversation with one family. They were on the radio, and I decided that I'm going to stop by their location. One family is, I guess, part of social services, what we would call social services.
Yes. So this is under, I believe it's under, can't remember the name of the ministry that it's under. And one family, it's where they said that they're going to take care of all of these families and provide, families who are in need, that they're going to provide groceries, etc. Yes. Go ahead.
So they were on the radio on Friday, and I'm going to say, maybe mention on the brass tacks. And I wasn't far from Warren's, and they were going to be in the parking lot opposite, like Massey supermarket. So I decided I'm going to go. Like, my mindset was, I'm assuming that they were out there to help families, not knowing that when I got there, they were literally doing like a food drive, meaning they were wanting people to come and donate. Now, I can't understand how the government is partying, the government is specking, and for Christchurch this weekend, everybody had on red. Everybody's out there having on red, during their conference. And the one family is a government, I'm going to say agency, government agency. It's not a not-for-profit, private organization. It's a government agency. And they're outside asking for donations of groceries. So I went to the tent and spoke to some, they were very kind and they tried to explain to me. So I asked a question: what if a family, like right now, I know a family right now at this moment who the mother needs food for their children. How do you do this? Well, they talked about, oh, well, she has to come and fill out a form and she has to come see it. But I said, but she needs food like right now. She needs something for today. She needs something for tomorrow. Maybe she doesn't have anything for the kids to go to school for the week. How, like the process, what is the process of getting someone urgently some food? How does it work? And it's the same thing. It's like a long, drawn out, just for food, it's a long, drawn out process. And I don't think that is fair. I don't think it's fair. I don't think that it's, helpful for someone to be in dismay, and you can talk about, oh, well, we don't want to just give them food. We want to teach them to fish. But at that moment when you're in crisis, you're not trying to fish. You're just trying to get whatever you can to feed your child, feed your family. And the process is I guess there is no in between. You either fill out the process or you just don't go. There is no in between for urgent matters. They talked about another organization. I'm assuming that was a private organization. But as far as the government is concerned, where do you go? If you know a family next door that doesn't have anything and needs something outside of yourself donating to the family, how does that family get something or get immediate and urgent? Because that is where the crisis come in. That's when we start having problems. That's where children can't go to school and can't learn because they don't have anything to eat at home. And school lunch, like in the U.S., school lunch is a major thing because sometimes that's all, breakfast and lunch is all that the children get when there is a situation at home. So, this weekend was like an eye-opener for me. Just traversing through Christchurch. I see everyone wearing their red. So that's how the T-shirt came about.
You take the people's T-shirt and mash it up. You take the slogan that said they were wearing shirts that says Mia cares, and you decided to put Mia could care less. Vote them out.
They are wearing red. They're wearing red this weekend for their conference, and that's what made me, just do something, and that's how I felt at the moment. But I truly am concerned. I try to help anyone who needs help. The diaspora tries to help, but I'm talking about a family in crisis. I'm talking about someone who needs something urgently outside of going to your neighbor. How do you do it?
How do you do it? Yeah.
We have to think about that. We have to think about also that the government did get a handful of money from Saudi Arabia to help in health program, whatever they're going to do, healthcare department. And part of that money was supposed to eradicate pit toilets in Barbados. If you have a neighbor that you know of that has a pit toilet, please report it. The government will receive the money to help with this. Please report. You can call DEM, and you can also call, I guess, the one family. I spoke to them about it. Like, they said, yes, that's what we're looking for, families with pit toilets. So please, if you have a neighbor that does not have the proper facilities, please report it so they can get some help, please.
But I'm listening to you, Michelle, and what struck me, even when we spoke today, is the fact that here it is, one family is set up, and you went to them. They were in the park or somewhere. You went to them to get help for a family, but instead they were asking people to give them stuff to help the family. Now the thing is that I counted that Barbadians, we're paying about 19 different taxes. 19. And here it is, we still have to donate to the government so that from our cupboards, so that the government can take care of those in the society that needs help. And what I say is that to agree with you, someone actually called me who work in the one family, and they said to me, Marcia, this whole thing is a sham. The one family has nothing. The one family, she said to me, Marcia, let me tell you this. The one family has nothing to give anybody. They are begging to get stuff to give people, even though all the taxes that are being collected. And that particular person was so frustrated with it. And she said, listen, the people are calling me and I don't have anything to give them. So I think that, yes, we want to help each other, but at the same time,
I think that
yeah.
they're going in the wrong direction when it comes to agriculture. This is where agriculture comes in, because the government should be able to purchase some of this merchandise from farmers to help feed families. Like, they have to purchase it from somewhere now. They receive money, all these loans. I'm not talking about someone living high on the horse. I'm just talking about simple food. There should not be any argument if someone says, I need a plate of food. I don't see where you need to whip out your credentials or dig up your dead grandmother to show that you need food. You just say you're hungry and you should be fed. That should not be anything to even argue or question.
Yes.
They're asking for basic necessities. They're not asking for a steak. They're asking for basic necessities. That shouldn't even be a question within the social service department in Barbados. People need food. You know the food. You're telling us that the food rates are going up. So you know that there's going to be some families that slip through the cracks. And then there should also be a program. There should be a program for this, for those families that are slipping through the cracks because the food is so high. I spent $300. I came out with 3 bags. I don't even know what was in the bag.
You spent,
I spent $300.
Those are listening. You spent $150 and came out of the supermarket here in Barbados with 3 bags.
With 3 bags.
If you normally live in Florida, right? If you went to the supermarket in Florida, compare that to Barbados for me.
I try not to compare it to Barbados, but at the same time, $150 can get you something in the U.S. to eat, can feed you at least for the week. Feed you. $300. I didn't have anything in the bag. I just bought some oil, this bag of sugar. It was just crazy. I just said, this is just like, there was no meat in the bag. There was no meat in the bag. It's just basic stuff. And I said to myself, how is everyone doing this? This can't be, I don't even see this as a one meal. I don't even see it as one meal a day. This can't continue to go on, because there are people who are absolutely vulnerable that will absolutely now fall through the cracks because the situation, the food situation. I'm not talking about anything else. We're not talking about transportation, car. We're talking about just to eat. This is what we have to fix. We have to fix this because school cannot go on. Children cannot learn because they cannot, they can't function. If you can't function if your stomach is hungry. You can't. So we have to figure this out.
You're so right, because it comes down to the bread and butter, matters really. And you're hearing it, you feel it, you see it. Dave and I see it all the time. And, we don't, it's not like we have a whole lot, but we have to share, because you can't see or people around you in need and then, hoard. You have to share. And that's how we've been helping. We've been good Barbadians. We've been helping each other. The problem is the number of taxes that we're paying. We were even paying into a resilience fund. Remember that? We're paying resilience tax. I mean, there's so many. But we're not seeing
there's so many. I try to help someone get to the clinic to get an x-ray. X-ray was $360 Barbados dollars. X-ray $360 Barbados dollars. This is the problem. People cannot get healthy because they can't even afford to go and get the diagnostic test they need to figure out what the problem is. So you don't have the $360 for your x-ray, then you're just going to sit it out. You're just going to continue to be in pain and continue to suffer because you cannot even afford healthcare.
Yeah.
This is absolutely it's hurtful. When I say hurtful.
But Michelle, it's good to hear your perspective, because have you ever voted in Barbados? You told me that already.
I've never voted in Barbados. I've never voted. No.
You've never voted. You left Barbados as a child, but you come back.
I left Barbados as a child. I've never been employed in Barbados, so I have left as a child. So those things I try to understand, and I try not to, sound indifferent, sound like I cannot, but I'm going to tell you that I'm a Barbadian that's on the ground. I'm a volunteer at your local Red Cross here in Barbados. I'm on the ground. So I don't have a problem helping anyone. I take people places. I drop people off. I see what they're going through. And, like for example, the BARP card. The BARP card, you have to pay to get a membership in the BARP card. But if you can't afford the BARP card, which we're going to give you 10%, like when you go to get your test, the BARP card takes off 10% of the, like the price I said, $360, but you don't have the money to even get that discount. I'm used to seeing stores that the manufacturer gives coupons, or, this week they're running a special, but I don't see that in Barbados. I don't see that to help
it's true.
the consumer, where there are discounts. Well, this month the manufacturer is running special on whatever it is. I just don't see that when it's so this is where I feel Bajans are really suffering. But at the same time, we're partying. We're up in the air. We're wearing red and we're having a good old time.
We're wearing red and things. So let me ask you something. I mean, people are ready. People think this is a real shirt, Michelle. Michelle, you're gonna have to have these shirts on Saturday. People say they want a shirt. They want their own shirt. Listen, this is taking off. This is supposed to be just something she made up. You hold a minute. Let me ask the people: you're serious about this? You really want the shirt? You really want to wear this shirt for Saturday's march? Because that's the name of our march. Our march this Saturday is Mayor Could Care Less. That is the name of the march. Our march on the 25th is Mayor Could Care Less. That is the name of the march.
Marcia, I listened to her in Parliament last Monday, and when they were debating the immigration citizenship bill. I listened to her, and there was a portion of it where she said to the speaker, and I'm going to quote, you can go look at the video at the part 2. She came in on the evening session, part 2, at the three I think it was 3 hours into the thing, and she said, because I watched it 3 or 4 times this week, she said, Mr. Speaker, I know what this country needs. She said, I know what this country needs. And then she said some other things right behind us, that she wants to assure Barbadians that she's not going to leave them out. And I'm just paraphrasing that part. But I was focused on, I know what this country needs.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say to Barbadians, did she ask you what you need? Has she asked you what you need? Because she's professing that she knows what you need. She hasn't consulted with you on what you need.
Yeah.
Think about that, Barbados. Think about that the government is on contract. They love a contract. The government is on contract too. And every time their contract is about to expire, they come knocking on your door, handing you some sort of basket, some sort of hamper. And I would never tell anyone not to take the hamper. Take it, because it belongs to you. You pay the taxes. You're going to pay these loans. It belongs to you. Take it. But don't let that be the end of it. Don't let, because someone hand you a hamper, that you're going to go out and vote. So ask them a question. Ask them, what have you done? Make it personal. I hear Adrian say it all the time. Make it personal. What have you done for my family? What have you done for me? Ask them a question. Ask them about the truth. We went through that. Ask them, is it true about Gemmitt's Lane? Is it true? Ask them a question. Interview them when they come knocking on your door, asking for your vote. And it goes for the other side. They want to be in power. Ask them a question. Correct. What is your plan for us? What is your plan for me? And this is how we have to do it. They are on contract too. Their contract is coming up. And they're going to be looking for you to put them back in office. Do them how they do you. Send them on their way.
Yes. Now, let me let you let me let you talk, because we have another one. Oh my goodness, we're out of time. We're gonna have to let you call back in another night. But just quickly, let me let you talk about you were in Dubai. So we have 3 minutes, and we want to talk about the kinds of jobs that they're saying that we're going to be like Dubai on steroids. Okay. And,
yes,
and this is what Mia Motley wants for us. Okay. She said that they're learning from Dubai. She took 60-something people to Dubai, and she says this is what's going to happen in Barbados. But what kind of jobs that you saw when you were in Dubai, Michelle?
Well, Dubai, I halfway listened to the program on Friday. I had some event to deal with, but talking about Dubai, I guess I'm gonna say the government makes it you believe that this is some like fantasy land. Dubai was developed in 1966. The person decided they're going to develop Dubai. I don't know his name exactly, and it's as old as Barbados independence trying to develop Dubai. Dubai was nothing but sand and desert. Trying to develop. By the time the 20 years later, that person who started it, I guess his son picked it up and he rolled with it till today. So it can't be, Barbados can't be like Dubai. Number one, the land, 166 square miles, it can't get any bigger than that. Dubai is way bigger. It was a desert and it was undeveloped. Barbados is already developed. So how are you going to develop Barbados like Dubai? Secondly, when I visited Dubai 2022 and 2023, right after COVID, they had experienced the same thing that the rest of the world had experienced. The employees I'm the type of person, when I visit a place, I like to deal with the culture. I'm not there for product, malls and all that stuff. I live in the U.S. I have seen malls. I don't need to go anywhere and go to the mall. I literally go to the culture. So I went to Old Dubai. Old Dubai is, when they talk about free zone is where like the tourists go, and you kind of can wear whatever you feel like wearing. Women can wear shorts, women can be exposed. But when you go to Old Dubai or the mainland, I had to cover up. I had to put on a long dress. I had to cover myself. I had to cover my head.
So tell me, Michelle, because I only have a minute left. So tell me about the kind of jobs and how Old Dubai was. What did you see there?
Yeah. Well, Old Dubai is just like any other place. They have workers. The workers there are Pakistani. They were the taxi cab driver who's driving me around. He's the one who's telling me how this works. He's saying that when there's no Social Security, there is none of those type of stabilizers, Social Security, pensions, or taxes. You get your money and it belongs to you, and it's on you to decide how you're going to spend it or how you're going to save it. When you work in Dubai, you have to have a job. When you're there in Dubai, you have to have a job. You cannot be. So during COVID, these people who like Pakistanis and Filipinos, they had to go back home. They had to go back home, and then somehow or another, when they opened back up, they came back. The service people are Filipinos. In your hotels, you see Filipinos at the desk, cleaning the rooms, and the cab drivers and the guys outside, they were Pakistani. So I don't know where the Emiratis are. I didn't see anyone who is, from the UAE. I never saw those people. So I'm from being on the ground and literally going into Old Dubai, I saw just foreigners doing work. Now my question is, in the free zone, like for example, let's say that Afreximbank Bank becomes a free zone, because there's about 30 or 40 free zones, and this is about business district. This is not about residential place. This is all business districts in Dubai. There's about 30 or 40 of them. What happens? The people who work in the free zone are those, are in Dubai. Those employees are brought in by the business, and then they're housed in labor camps. You understand? So my question is, let's say, for example, Afreximbank Bank becomes a free zone, or what they set it out to be. And because they've already have some status where they don't have to abide by the law, they have no rules there, and they're not paying taxes. Does a Barbadian work in that zone? Can a Barbadian work in that zone? Are they going to bring in workers to work in that zone? Because how does, like, if they don't have laws, or they don't have, they don't abide by the government of Barbados rules, how does a Barbadian operate within that free zone? Do they, labor questions? They have labor questions. They have questions about, their pension or the NIS. How does that operate inside? Or in these free zones, they will bring in labor and they will deal with the labor within that free zone. And Barbadians are not allowed in the free zone, because I did not see for myself Emiratis working. I only saw Pakistanis and Filipinos working and ask them questions of how this works.
Yeah. Well, Michelle, this has been very enlightening, and I'm glad that you came on to share and your motivation behind doing the shirt. And we're going to keep showing that shirt. I laugh out so loud when you put the shirt up. And I think that I think it's great. It's a great shirt. And there are people, believe it or not, there are people who want the shirt. So we have to discuss that, Michelle. So Saturday we're on the road. We're going to be on the road on Saturday, and we'll have you coming in again tomorrow or Wednesday, okay? But I have to we have to talk to a taxi operator. So yeah. So but thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
All right. Thank you, Barbie.
Very insightful.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yes. Well, very insightful people. Very insightful. And right now what we're going to do, it's so many things, but Dave, we have a voice note that we got permission to play. And this is of a German tourist was in the in the vehicle of a taxi driver, a Barbadian taxi driver. And they had this to say, and the person said, can you do a voice note for me? And they did, and so we got permission to play it. Dave, go right ahead.
Hello, this is from Germany. I just wanted to say that you shouldn't bring Uber to Barbados because Uber will kill the business of taxi drivers. It will not bring any joy to you guys in here. And it will also destroy like the jobs of the tour guides and, the tour taxi drivers, and even down to the ZR buses, because tourists will stop using all of that. And they will only start using Uber because, you have the fixed prices and you have the routes and you have a rating on the taxi drivers. So people will stop using taxis and taxi drivers will literally lose their jobs. So don't bring it here. Germany refused to bring it to Germany. They tried it for a time and then they stopped because they saw that it's not good for the country at all.
Yes. So that was a taxi driver who that German tourist gave them the permission to record them, and they're saying to us, you heard what they said, that they had to kick it out of Germany. It did not work for their tourism in Germany, and so as a tourist, she's saying, no, don't do it, because we want to be able to have that rapport with our taxi drivers. Okay, all right. So I have on the line with me right now that same taxi driver. Good night, Matthew B. Good night. Good night. Can you hear me?
Your message has been sent.
I'm not getting him. Not getting him. But I'm hoping, Dave, can you make a call for me, please? Just to make sure that yeah, okay. Now, let's Sir Alfred, now let's talk about this for a minute. And this is why we say Mia could care less. I showed you the other night that usually when these big companies, for example, especially Uber, all on the internet, I hope some of you have done your research and you would have seen that majority of the countries that Uber is allowed in, Uber does a lot of bribery. There are lots of kickbacks happen, lots of bribery. In fact, Uber is being right now is being investigated by the US for foreign bribes. That's a fact. It's online. And I say Mia could care less about our taxi men, about our taxi operators, because you have women who are operating taxis as well. because now you're being told, okay, well, you could go and sign up for Uber. The taxi operators could go and sign up for Uber. So they go and they sign up for Uber, and what does that mean? It still means that they're going to pay the amount of money to license the taxi. Yes, $2,700 or something like that. They will have to pay their car note, whatever the loan they have. They have to pay that. They have to pay insurance. They have to pay for the upkeep and the maintenance of the car. So that's not going to change. They will continue to pay that. So they are going to, their expenses will not change. However, their profit will, though, because they will now have to pay a percentage to Uber. Yeah. Now, this is what the taxi men are saying. Right now, they are entrepreneurs. They own their own business. And when they go and they start to sign up with Uber, they will take care of all of the costs. So a lot of you out there, yes, I understand you're saying, oh, we're going to get a cheap ride now and we're going to all of these different things. But as you are getting that, remember, somebody else is going to be on the breadline. You're putting with somebody else. This Mia Motley administration is putting those taxi operators on the breadline. Already, we can barely buy food in this country. And the big question we need to ask is, whose hands did they grease to come in here? And to be, I mean, this is not even something that they sat down with the operators and said to them, well, let's do this, and then let's see, let's see what's going to happen. How can we work together? Because that industry, that kind of business is what you call a disruptor. When they come in, they disrupt what is there. You don't coexist with them. They started off in Trinidad, and Trinidad put them out. Yeah. Okay. So I think we have our taxi on, the taxi operator. Good night, sir.
Good night to the Marcia show and all the viewers and stuff like that. Good night, Marcia.
Yes. Good night. Good night. As usual, we want to know, people, make sure you're hearing this taxi operator. I was here making a case for you concerning this new policy that is being put in place by the government. The government seems like they're pushing the taxi men out of business, and people are saying, but why are you complaining? You already had pickup. Some of you were part of pickup. So tell me about pickup, and tell me about how that, are you part of pickup, and do you have friends who are part of pickup?
No, I'm not part of pickup, but I know some other drivers that are part of pickup. You understand? But yeah, I didn't know the government, the Prime Minister said she want money. But I think this thing is all about some more money she want to get out the taxi drivers, you understand? Because, some of them, they pay enough insurance, and there's a lot of them that don't pay enough insurance. But I think with this Uber that's coming in, the government is going to actually find something to get some more taxes out of the drivers. You understand? I think this is where this thing is actually heading. But I think Uber is going to destroy a lot of the taxi business, because Uber will not be good for this country as far as I can see, as far as my ears is on the ground. You understand?
So let me ask you something. Some of your friends who are already doing pickup, right? How are they finding that? Because that is a local business, owned by the merchant class, white people in Barbados. They own, let's be real and straight, they own pickup, from what I saw online. If I am wrong, then somebody can let me know. But the owners look like those from the merchant class. So how is it working for people with for taxi operators?
But even the pickup, to be honest with you, the pickup is actually putting a dent in some other taxi drivers. So imagine that is just pickup.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if Uber is to come now, that means Uber is going to do much more damage than that. You understand what I'm saying?
So I'm being,
to be honest with you,
uh-huh,
to be
yeah.
honest with you, I actually spoke to a lady today that she's on pickup, and she's told me that pickup actually setting up a petition against this same Uber. You understand? So it seems like Uber is going to bring some problems around here. I mean, I even just think people talk about taxi drivers is overcharged the gas and stuff. I think that is nonsense because I think right across the board in Barbados, everybody is getting overcharged because, in a way, if you want to buy a pack of biscuit that costs 60 cents from one shop, and then even in that shop, the pack of biscuit costs $1, you're being overcharged. So people are getting being overcharged in this country left and right. Taxi drivers is where we are. Sometimes taxi drivers come here as well. We hours to get a job. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you work 26 hours for your first job. It's rough on your taxis and your taxi organization. When this overcome, it's going to be worse.
So let me ask you, sir, you said it's rough on the taxis. Tell me about the expenses. Why is it so rough? Because do you actually believe that the taxis are overcharging, or it is because your costs are very high?
Well, the cost is high, gas is high, the overhead is high because, as you know, the taxis got to pay into NTW a lot of money for the permits. Every year, we renew them, still be paying taxes, still paying gas tax. And these things ain't right now, so you bring Uber to disadvantages. You understand one thing?
Mm-hmm.
So these things are not good. And I think, as I said before, I think the government actually, this is the way the government is looking to move into the cashless system. You understand what I'm saying?
The cashless system. Explain.
Correct. You know Uber is a cashless app. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So everybody's used the card or whatever they use to transact their money. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is the government way of getting cashless more across the board.
Okay.
You understand? Don't talk about, don't money you're talking about it's just for tourists and things. This thing in effect, you see these taxis at the airport, if they don't hop on board Uber, they can't get to work. You see these taxis in the port, if they don't hop on board, they can't get to work. This is how this thing will be. You understand? As far as they can see down the road. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the government making be a sport at poor players, how you say all the time. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think what I heard as well is that even with the pickup, some of the taxi drivers went and they subscribed and to pick up and started to work for pickup, but a lot of them now are dropping off because they're realizing they're not taking home as much as when they work for themselves. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, some guys tell me to drop out because pickup was actually below the government tariff also. You understand? These pickup is working below the government tariff. I don't know if someone could come and verify what I'm saying. You know
when you say the government, what is it? The tariff?
The government have a tariff for taxi prices and stuff like that.
Oh, so hold a minute. So this is where you need proper representation, taxi man, because your prices. Who set your prices?
The government sets the prices.
Okay, so all of you that cursing the taxi man, this is why you need taxi man. You need to all come on the show and let us break it down and talk to the people, because we did not know that. The taxi fare is set by the government. How many of you knew that?
But most taxi drivers know it. It's not
No. The problem is the communication of the message. You know it, but the people don't know it, sir. That's why they're cursing the taxi drivers. The taxi drivers' fares, the fares that you charge, that they were set by the government. Anybody out there knew that?
I can tell you straight, a lot of people know. Some people who want to know, who don't want to know, won't know. The problem is, if a person getting a taxi for hire, the first thing they should do is answer the price. If they don't agree with the price, it's up to them to take the taxi or not take the taxi. The other taxis don't let them take it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So while I want, this is an important point to make, that the taxi, the rates that are there, they're set by the government. okay, because they're blaming the taxi operators, and they're set by the government because of how much you mean the license and the permits and the regulatory fees, etc., insurance, all of that you have to pay. So therefore, that's why the prices are set. So let me ask you before you go, sir, what is it that the taxi drivers are going to do now? Do you know?
Well, my advice to them is nobody just don't go on board the Uber. Don't go on because they say they're working with the local taxis. So if they don't go on board with them, they will have to find another way to get their job done. You understand what I'm saying? And if they decide to bring in the private cars to do the job as they do it worldwide, all these taxi drivers will do is turn the permits back into NTW
Mm-hmm.
and let me drive their cars, private cars. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, so you're saying that the taxi operators need to hold strain
Yeah,
everybody
well,
that's
true.
licensed and don't sign up with Uber.
Correct.
Ah, mm-hmm. Yes, I see what you're saying. The question is, will they come together to do that? Listen, you're always on the march. We're going to be on the march on Saturday. The name of the march is Mayor Could Care Less, right? Mayor could care less. You agree with that? You coming
Yeah.
on the march?
Yes, ma'am. And I actually will like the taxi drivers to come out and really support it because these things is wrong. Everything that's being done in this country is to destroy the poor businessman or poor business person in this country. And these things are not right.
Yes. So the shirt, and people want, there's a t-shirt here and people want the shirt. I don't know how we're going to get this done. We need somebody, we need an independent person, not a political party, somebody to buy the shirts and give them out to the people. It would say Mayor Could Care Less. Vote them out, and in the back they need to list all the problems, the taxi up, the Uber, everything, list them on the back of the shirt. That's what needs to happen with this. And we have them on for that particular march. But the name of the march is Mayor Could Care Less. It's 10 o'clock, and it's going to be where, a regular place. We start right there in front of the Kensington Mall, Massacre Park. Most people know it, and that's where we're going to start on Saturday.
Okay, Marcy, I gotta make a run though, all right?
Yes, I know you have to work. You go and work and stay safe. Tell the taxi operators that we're working with them, and they need to hold firm. Hold firm,
Marcy.
hold the line. Don't give up. Do not sign up with Uber. Tell them don't sign up. We're going to hold strain with them, okay?
Okay, Marcy. Have a good night.
Okay, good night. Thanks. Yes. Oh my goodness, folks! You with the taxes? You with the taxes? Yeah, Matthew, be on the right track. The government and Uber said panic risk on that. Yes, I saw it, Mr. Bob. Oh Lord, Mr. Bob, I wish I could have you on here every night, but we have to do the variety. But Mr. Bob, I thought the same thing, that it was a panic response. Let me just read your comments before I go to the next person. If Dave, Dave, can you get the economic analysis up on the screen? And we're going to show you why Mia could care less, because we're into billions of dollars into debt, and we have not seen one thing yet. I want somebody to show me one social service that's working. Show me the clean water that we're getting in St. Lucie after the billions of dollars that we have borrowed. But let's read some of the comments before I get to this, and Mr. David Gill. He's a former BLP senator, and he is going to be on the line with us. So we have a lot of calling tonight, or a lot of presentation. Miss McLean is going to come in at about 8:30, 8:40, and she's going to be talking about the fraud, that international fraud, again under the Mia Motley administration. The three scams has occurred under the Mia Motley administration, right? Yes. Some taxi drivers do overcharge, but I don't think it's everybody that overcharge. And so, because you might have a few of them that do that, we can't say we're not going to help them now. We will stand together. We're one Barbados, and they came for the Airbnb people and the small, the short-term rentals only 2 weeks ago, and now they're coming for the taxi driver. Yeah, and a BLP person came on here tonight and tell me that they're going to shut down my show. So they have their times, they come for different people, but I want to tell them, come. I dare you. I dare any of you. Shut down the show. And for that comment, because I know how they operate, everybody start liking the show. Because what they're going to do is to complain, to take me off the same way that they took me off before. So took me off of my other channels. Everybody just start liking, please. Those of you who have not liked, please pause and like and share, so that the algorithm will see that there are people who like the show, right? So Sunshine Leon, I'm gonna get you coming in after 9 o'clock tonight. Sunshine, I'm gonna get you come in as well. Okay. I was reading. Pick up Barbados set fares dynamically via their app, which may include base fare plus per kilometer charge, surge pricing during peak demand service. I don't understand anyway. But the point is, though, that the taxi drivers, they're saying some of them did sign up with pickup, but they're realizing that the money that they take home is less than when they work for themselves. And that's where the problem is. So between pickup and Uber, the local taxi operation is going to die. That's a fact. Okay. And what we need, the big question is, who was bribed for Uber to be in Barbados? And I'm not making a careless comment. Don't think I'm making a careless comment if you missed Friday's show. Just go and search online and see what Uber is under investigation for. Yeah? Yes? Dave, if you can please just send the link to Miss McLean. I think I made a mistake there. Dave, thank you so much. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave, for all you do. Just please send the link to Miss McLean, who will be coming in. Tell her 8:40. We are running a little late. Okay. So let me get to Mr. David Gill, because we're going to talk about the economy. We're talking about bread and butter. Bread and butter. Some of you come on here because your bread is already butter, right? But there are lots of people who just cannot afford to live in Barbados. There's one person who said, I'm going to migrate. As I told you, a lot of these young people, bright young people from, Harrison College, Queens College, where are they? Look around, from St. Michael, wherever. Look around. Once they get an opportunity overseas, they're gone. They're not in Barbados. Look at even in your family. The children are educated and they're gone. And you're wondering why the population is decreasing. Because the people are leaving. They cannot live here. The kids cannot eat. They're not stupid. Do you understand? That is the reality. That is the reality. That is the reality. And I'm not understanding why I'm not seeing this gentleman's number. It's live TV. But I'm going to find it this evening. I'm finding it this evening. Mr. David Gill. He's right here. David Gill was in both houses of parliament as senator, and he was an MP for St. Michael South Central. And I'm calling him now as we speak. And in the meantime, let me just check to see if I can see any more comments before we go. Dave, those who are coming in late didn't see that shirt, so you can go ahead and put it up. And we also have a video of two young men, Dave. They're two young men, two young boys, and they are young men about the same age I was telling you about, and they are talking about the economy. So, Dave, we're looking at this shirt now, and this is when we're done, you're going to see why Mia could care less. So let's talk about the economy. I think Senator Gill is on the call. Good night, Senator.
Good evening, Marcia.
Yes, good evening. Are we hearing Senator Gill, former
You're
Senator
not in
Gill?
America. You're not in America where you're a senator for life.
Former Senator Gill.
Actually, I had two votes in the House. It's senator and the MP for St. Michael South Central.
St. Michael South Central.
South Central.
Yes.
Yeah, you probably. I don't know if you were here that time. I don't know if you had settled in Barbados yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What year was that? What year was that, sir?
The Americanism rolls off the tongue very easily.
What year was it?
Oh, that would have been 2004.
Oh.
2004, 2009.
Okay.
Yep. 2004, 2009.
Right.
I'm not a good historian.
Yeah.
Dates don't sit in my brain very well, but
Yes.
I think that was it. Mm.
Well, you know, yes, go ahead, sir.
No, and I was able to work with some very smart people, some very intelligent people, like Mr. Prescott, Ron Prescott. I call him Dr. Ron Prescott. He was an econometrician. He knew his statistics. He still knows his statistics. I haven't gone to see him in recent times, but he's the kind of fella that he could sit down with you, just get him his spectacles, and he could work out what's your pension going to be based on your highest earning and when you were employed, and he can work out what your severance will be.
Yeah.
He has a sharp brain, and he's one of those guys that I think he should have been made Sir Ron Prescott, but kisses go by favor, and it is people like him that I kept close to. Senator Barker, well, he was senator,
and all of that. But time is against us. Time is against us.
Yes.
And we we want to talk about. We want to do some talk about the economy. And the first thing we want to talk about is the national debt burden. And just let me read something I have on the screen, and then I just have you comment on it. Barbados' national debt now exceeds 14 billion Barbados dollars, equivalent to over 130% of the GDP. This is one of the highest debt to GDP ratios in the Caribbean. For every $1 the economy produces, $1.30. For every $1 the economy produces, $1.30 is owed to creditors. High debt restricts government spending on critical areas like healthcare, education, and housing. Ordinary Barbadians are paying for this through increased taxation. And I counted, former Senator Gill, 19 taxes that we're paying, reduced subsidies, and stagnating wages. What's your comment on that, sir?
Marcia, 130. $14 billion is not a sneeze. And debt to GDP of 130 is in a crippling position. So however you look at it, you're sorry to say it, you're doing if you do, you're damned if you don't. And in my estimation, we have not been doing the things to get people to feed in to the gross domestic product. Now, look at this same last move by bringing Uber in. What you're doing, you are decreasing the earning ability, the productivity, the contribution, and the productivity, right, of the locals, of the real I call it the briquettes of the society. Without them, you cannot get a good finished state. You must have the briquettes. And you have the other thing here now is the youth unemployment. The youth unemployment. If your young people are not working, but then the wheels are not turning. And in my estimation, when you go now, when you make the workers, construction workers,
yes,
from the word go, you are putting it again. You're making life difficult for the young people. You've got young people who have gone to SJPI. You've got young people who have gone to the skills training. Then to hear, well, you don't have the skill set. Then you could get a minister saying you don't have, what are these skills you want in construction? You've got the young people who learn to drive and to repair heavy duty equipment. You've got them into electrician. You've got them into electronics. You've got them into masonry. You've got them into tiling. You've got them into plate and steel. You've got them into the excavation. What is it that they lack? Tell me what they lack. But this is something which has been pushed into their brains. And if you say it regularly enough, you begin to think that you don't have the skills. But the construction magnates are saying, well, we don't have anybody here to do these jobs. And yet you're getting young people whose parents are privileged or have relatives here who are sending their children to come to Barbados to go to SJPI. So if you're telling them they don't have the skills, if you're telling them that they're not equipped, then they're not getting into the business of productivity, and your gross domestic product will be coming down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It will be watered down from that end. Then the other thing is you're not paying the migrant workers what the locals would demand. If you pay them at home $120 a day, that is $80 Barbadians. When they come here and they work for $80 Barbadians, they are cutting our expected revenue by what? $40, that's $40.
$40,
yeah.
correct.
So 80 and 40 is 120.
Yeah.
40, that is one. You're down by a third. Okay. And when you come, hello?
Yes, we're right here. Yes.
Yeah, I thought I'd lost you there. When you compound that over a period of time and multiply it by the numbers of people who have replaced or pushed out Barbadians, you will see that we start to lose. Again, the gross domestic product is dwindling. When people travel and go overseas for a better chance to earn a wage, so you're looking now at repatriating, sending back home. You may send back home half of that. Okay, so I cannot see them getting out of this trap. And there are other things which are pulling us into this trap. They've gone into projects which cannot get off the ground.
Can't get out. So this 14 billion, you can't see us getting out of it. You can't see.
It is hard, Marcia. It is hard. Believe you me, it is hard.
It's a tough one.
Okay, we speak about tourism. Now, what percentage of the US dollar, the hard currency, is being left here? What percentage of the hard currency is getting here in the first instance? You look now at the Airbnb. Those fines. A fine is not a punishment. And the moment you think of a fine, okay, which is punitive, the moment you put a fine at $250,000, more in many instances than what the property is. So put the two of them up side by side. The Airbnb and the Uber. These are people. People go into that to make $1, to make ends meet. You know, it may be a lady whose husband has passed on and the children are overseas. They come in, twice a year, Christmas, Mother's Day, what have you. But she is smart enough, or the children are smart enough to say, look, ma'am, we have 2-3 rooms there doing nothing. Let us get it going. So it is sort of a bit of hardship, a bit of difficulty. You might still be paying taxes, although you're retired, and you know that is a common thing. Paying taxes when you've retired. you have a car. Your job was made redundant, and we had retrenchment in both administrations. And there are people I know they come to me to get things done. You know, those whom I represented, they don't leave me out. I go from the permit stage. If they want to, then they tell them form a company. They don't know how to form the company. They don't know how to go online. They don't know anything. So I come in contact with them on a regular basis. So people go into these projects based on a bit of hardship and difficulty. Then to come to remove part of their earnings, to make life difficult. But then again, you're chipping away at the gross domestic product.
But you see that we want to, as you said that, I want us to talk about inflation and cost of living. And on the screen here, I just want to read a little paragraph, and then you can take it away from there. Inflation in Barbados has remained persistently high since 2022, averaging between 6 to 9% annually. Food and energy prices have risen fastest, and we know that. We don't have to understand about inflation to know. We feel it, especially imports, which affect every household. The central bank has admitted that imported inflation and fuel dependency are key factors. A family that spent $500 on groceries in 2020 now pays nearly $650 for the same basket of goods. What are your thoughts on that? Following on from the debt burden and the GDP.
Marcia, I think to get this inflation down, we've got to subsidize a bit more. Food is the main thing, as you've just said. Food. Mm-hmm. You find that you go to the supermarket and you're topping up a lot more often than you used to do. A lot more often. You see people putting things back. You know, you tell somebody, how much is it? You need another. Okay, and you tell the cashier, well, all right, carry that on to my bill. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you're not out there canvassing. Now, if government says this is over the next 2 years, we're going to go head on in an attempt to reduce the price of food. Now, what constitutes the biggest part of food? Protein, mm-hmm. Meat, milk, eggs, that sort of thing. And if you say, well, we are going to, as my father told me, it just after the war, Sir Grantley Adams, he reduced the taxes, or what they used to call the cess on animal feed. Mm-hmm. You've got to address it at the core. You've got to tell the people, well, look, the farmers, I want you to get into producing more corn. Corn is a very good source of basic protein, high in nitrogen content. And I remember as a child going driving, no sooner than you pass Wildy Clark, you're into Cairns. Even before you got to Wildy, it was Cairns all the way up when we went to the drive-in from Calamarrock, just above Calamarrock, up to the drive-in. You've got to get people back into corn in a big way.
Yeah.
All right. And if you could reduce then the other imports, if you could get people growing a bit more cane and getting into what the old people call cane meat, very good source of nitrogen again.
What's it called? What did you say? Cane? What is it called?
Sugar cane. You cut off the tops. If you go through, you might still see an elderly man taking off the tops. You call it cane meat. And you feed. In other words, cane is a grass. Sugar cane is a grass in Barbados. Or 13.1, what is it, 60 less 30, seems to be the ideal place for grass to grow. Mm-hmm. You just need to you see these showers that we had and these lightning showers? Look how across the country you're going to see how green and lush it is up until the end of the year.
Oh, you said cane meat for the animals. I got you.
Yes.
No, I understand.
Molasses, corn, and then you could go over from them. You could, as a spin-off, you could go into distillation of spirits, but I'm not going there. I'm going strictly meat, chicken, chicken, beef, pork, lamb, rabbit meat,
Mm-hmm.
and you give the up front a reduction. And, and you pay farmers if you put more of your lands, if you put more of your lands into grass, we will give you we will pay you like if you are growing sugarcane for manufacturing of sugar and spirits and molasses. So you got molasses, you would have the molasses, you would have the cane meat, you would have the corn. There's another one there that you see cotton seed.
Yeah.
You see the cotton seed. That is also high in protein. So we
Oh.
have things going. Just speak with people, farmers of a certain age. You know, my father was a countryman, and he told us all these things. And we went to the country with him whenever he had an opportunity.
Okay,
You're the town boy, but I know the principal parts of a sugarcane factory. I can rattle them off to you because as a boy, he went to what you call the sugar technology, it's sugar technology engineering. But he said he had to leave it out because the bosses used to keep all the money for themselves, and he had a life to live and a family to raise. But that's the first thing you've got to go to. We are going to bring down the cost of protein. We have to use the vegetables that are in season. Okay? And if we've got to cut things like, you do not have to bring in every brand of wine that is available on the market or in the world. You know, and those are some of the you've got to do a bit more for the farmers in getting you got to get back serious with the extension officers, plowing, making those services available.
So what I'm basically hearing you saying is that we've got to get into agriculture in order for us to see. Wow, yeah, I see what you're.
Go ahead. Agriculture is at the heart and soul of a country that has to get out of this bind.
Okay. So in order to deal with the inflation, to deal with the debt burden, you are saying we've got to look at agriculture seriously. Let me tonight we have to kind of touch on the different areas, and my dream is for you to be able to come in. But let's talk about employment and real wages. Official unemployment is around 9%. But underemployment and precarious work remain widespread, because we know that a lot of people are working 3 days and 4 days a week, or on 1 week off the other week. Many young Barbadians are forced into short-term or part-time jobs without benefits, contract work. Meanwhile, real wages have not kept pace with inflation, meaning that even employed citizens are effectively poorer than they were 5 years ago. Any thoughts on that, sir? Okay, well, hold a second. You're going lower. We want to hear you. We want to hear you. Make sure your phone is turned up. Go ahead, continue.
Right. You weren't hearing me?
We're hearing you clear now.
Okay. This debt trap reminds me of a Doberman trying to nibble or bite a tick out of its tail. You know the length of a Doberman's tail? We'll never be able to nibble that tick out of the tail. Now, the mere fact that you have underemployment, your gross domestic product, to what we are accustomed to, and the level of standard of living. So that waters it down. And I am a little uncomfortable with that figure for the youth unemployment. I think it is much more. If you go through any big village in Barbados, you could go Pine Wildy, Bank Hall, Bush Hall, Eagle Hall, Beacons, Bayland, Carrington Village, Bishop, nowhere, any of those that you go to. Just even in urban, you don't even have to go outside of urban. Britain's Hill, Marcy, let me tell you, to see 100 unemployed youngsters within the distance of a couple of square miles is commonplace. So if they're not working, if they're underemployed, what you're doing, again, you cannot get your gross domestic product up to the level which is comfortable, that you can pay your loans. And also, if you are employing people, your consultants, you've got a lot of consultants you could do without, Marcia. To be honest with you, I don't see what they're doing. I don't see how they're contributing to the country. That's the honest truth. If you could get that money spread amongst youngsters into rabbit rearing, we've just gone to Canada and we bought some heifers. They've dropped calf. Milk isn't. You could go to these areas. These same youngsters, you could go to them and tell them that, look, we are going to provide you with. You've got the grazing area. You live countryside. We're going to supply you 1-2 heifers. All right, that you could up the milk supply. You could up the meat supply. I don't think enough is being done in fisheries. Here it is. I thought Mr. David Commission would have had the Treaty of Chagaramas interpreted in such a way that Barbadians could go down to the Tobago and fish in their waters without having fear of being thrown in prison, or arrested. And somehow he has more a penchant for bringing workers to come here and squeeze out or people. You just have to look, Marcia. It's something that has been occupying my brain. It was last year, and I think late the year before. I happened to be across the bridge out by the bus stand, and I saw the state. I saw the state of the health of vegetables which were drying out, vegetables which had gone. That really would be going to the animals.
Yeah.
To feed. And that is another thing you do. Organize with the farmers. You should have a farm gate that has a person into cattle rearing, livestock. You could go and buy a bag of vegetables, what we call a crocus bag of vegetables, onion bag full of vegetables for X amount of dollars to feed. But it must be in cycle. But what prompted me to start this, going across the bridge, I've seen the poor state of vegetables and fruit. Don't tell me that the people could sell them any cheaper. A man sells according to his day-to-day requirements. The other thing I've noticed is the gas stations. You've got 8 pumps and 3 working, 4 working, 2 working. You up and you close. That is telling me that the bottom part of what you call it now, not the economists call it, the circular economy. There's a shortage. There's a paucity of cash, hard cash.
Yes.
In the bottom part, and I think that is what is fueling crime. I have a very strong feeling that is fueling crime. So we got to get out of it. Is really truly a trap. Maybe something government. The economists may chop me down for this. Something government may very well have to look at is saying that, look, if you are earning foreign exchange, whether you're into Airbnb, you're into A-class, luxury class hotels, you have foreign exchange accounts. We're not hard on foreign exchange. Listen, you have to pay a part of your land taxes. You have to pay a part of your inland revenue taxes in hard currency, because it's no different between that and the bonds that we just launched for holders of foreign exchange account. It means that we are not seeing the foreign exchange that we ought to be seeing.
Yes, that is a thing. Wow. Listen,
and it was
go ahead, Senator Gill.
And it was evident during COVID. I will never forget the remarks of three economists. We had a young, bright economist by the name of Nitram. Young Nitram, I've lost track of him. He was in charge of the Economic Society at one stage, and you could hear brilliance and see it oozing out of him when he spoke. I know he went to work with the central bank, but I feel he's with the IMF. He said that really and truly there wasn't much of a change in the earning of foreign exchange during the COVID. And then we had the young lady from she's not all that young now, the economist from Trinidad. She said, what's her name? Sukru? Not sure. It's not coming back now. But she said that sufficient. We were not able, or with tourism as numero uno foreign exchange earner, we are not able to do certain capital works projects. Like Marcia told me, our bridges have broken down, roads need repairing. It is evident that we are not earning what we are supposed to be earning from tourism. So if you say you have to pay, come in and let's talk. Let's see a balance sheet. Let's see what you turned over.
Mm-hmm.
But look, you see your taxes. You're turning over less of it. All right, pay 10% of your taxes in foreign exchange. You have a foreign exchange account. We go all the way out to give you all sorts of concessions. Each time you give you a concession, we take away from the poor and the indigent. We're taking away from them, and
Yes.
they're seeing it harder.
Yes.
They're seeing it harder. You
What-
see, so you've got to make concrete and real moves to get this economy to jumpstart it. It's gone to sleep.
Yes. Wow.
I'm not saying it has gone to sleep. The figures we are getting, you will say, what nonsense are you talking about gone to sleep? But you cannot keep your capital works projects up. You can't keep the grass down. You cannot patch the road. You cannot repair the bridges. You cannot put in the street lights on the highway, off the highway. You cannot keep the schools up. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing for a country that is so heavily taxed? So we've got to look at all the sectors of the economy and address them seriously.
Yeah.
Gone are the days, Marcia, when one person can handle the economy of Barbados. I think it is time that we get an economics commission of about 15 to 20 bright economists, people dealing with central bank concerns, people dealing with day-to-day transactions at the minute, budget analysts. We need to get people who are into investment. We need to get people who are into things like energy. You got to get those brains and put them down. We don't want no local government and that nonsense. We need to get people who can sit down and tell government, look, you cannot spend this money like willy-nilly like this.
Yes.
We have to go. Tell me what is the return today. And I get very annoyed about it. What is the return on that medical marijuana? The money that we've put into that medical marijuana investment, we put that into young farmers. The money that we have put into this generation of alternative energy, and we had used that to give the sugar workers an equity in the bulk waste to energy. The monies that we put in by way of concessions and tax rebates on electric vehicles. If you could find 200,000 to buy an electric vehicle, for God's sake, you should be able to pay the taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this is foreign exchange that is being sucked out of the economy and making it difficult on young people.
Yes, and I think that is why a lot of them are it's difficult here, and they're leaving, sir, the best and brightest. Sir, I want to ask you, I know you have classes in the week, but we've got to come back. We're not even finished. We have, I think I planned too much in this time because it's so intricate, and we have to go a little deep in for each point. And so we didn't get to finish the economic analysis. So we're going to have you call back in another night because believe me, 30 minutes is gone.
We didn't even look at the way in which and this is directly associated. The way in which young people have walked, not caused them to lose their seats, market. They have walked away from the DLP administration between 2018 and 2022.
Well, tell you what, let me see if I can call you back after say probably after 9:30, and let us look at that. I think we need to.
That's no problem, but that is a direct consequence of the failed attempt in keeping your debt to GDP down. You don't have any wiggle room.
Yes. So we want to look at the BLP declining mandate. We want to look at that. And we're going to continue this document I have on the screen with Mr. Gill tomorrow night. But the Barbados BLP declining mandate, we have some numbers to show you guys. And you're going to be shocked when you see them on the screen. All right. So I want you to stay with us. Tonight is exciting. We have lots, and we're showing you why Mia could care less. She could care less about you. All right. God bless you. Thank you so much. Very, very, very great. Believe me, it's over 30 minutes we've been going. Thank you.
Regards to Dr. Ferdy's wife and to Dr. Ferdy.
Yes, most definitely. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Bye.
Oh, wow. Tonight is awesome. Dave, do we have that video with those young men? Let's put it right up. Yes, go right ahead, Dave.
Either the pensioners gonna suffer or the youth gonna suffer. But I don't believe the youth really understand that them is who getting shafted. Because no, we bring in the immigrants to support the pensioners, but the youth, they're on the job. So if you can see the youth cry out on the brass stats, the youth ain't gonna call upon hello, good morning, down to brass stats here, how can I help? But you can see like the crime rate jump up a little bit. You can see the drugs jump up a little bit. You can see the gang signs throwing up a little bit more.
As we have seen.
I say, wait, me and Molly open up the borders? That's so good. Let me see if we could go in a place and be at St. Vincent, Belize, or Dominica. I say, well, they got the jobs in Barbados. Let me see if the guy is saying over there in St. Vincent. She knows he's been rich for like St. Vincent.
Well,
that's about $2 is so much. What? $2 is so much. What? Crime, criminal. Hey man, you're not getting paid no more than $3 in none of them countries. So no Barbadian, the 2 nickels of common sense going to St. Vincent. We importing immigrants, and as you say, in Canada is an issue, in the US is an issue. Guess what? We're adopting them issues.
Dave, play it again for me, Dave. Go ahead and play that for me again. Would love for us. Let's listen to these young men, and this is why they are leaving Barbados in droves, I tell you.
Either the pensioners gonna suffer or the youth gonna suffer. But they don't even believe the youth really understand that them is who getting shafted. Because no, we bring in the immigrants to support the pensioners, but the youth, they're on the job. So if you can see the youth cry out on the brass stats, the youth ain't gonna call upon hello, good morning, down to brass stats here, how can I help? But you can see like the crime rate jump up a little bit. You can see the drugs jump up a little bit. You can see the gang signs throwing up a little bit more.
As we have seen.
I say, wait, me and Molly open up the borders? That's so good. Let me see if we could go in a place and be at St. Vincent, Belize, or Dominica. I say, well, they got the jobs in Barbados. Let me see if the guy is saying over there in St. Vincent. She knows he's been rich for like St. Vincent.
Well,
that's about $2 is so much. What? $2 is so much. What? Crime, criminal. Hey man, you're not getting paid no more than $3 in none of them countries. So no Barbadian, the 2 nickels of common sense going to St. Vincent. We importing immigrants, and as you say, in Canada is an issue, in the US is an issue. Guess what? We're adopting them issues.
You know, Mia could care less. I am telling you, and our young people, they are seeing it and they are understanding it. They are understanding it, and that's why they are leaving. They are leaving in droves. You understand me? They are leaving in droves because they cannot survive here. Can somebody go tell her that? Go and find her on her jet. Her jet, which is paying $11,000 an hour. Go find her if you can. And let her understand. This is part of the problem you're having in the country with the population because they're not staying. Why should they stay? These look like very intelligent young men. Huh? These look like intelligent young men. They're not staying. What are your thoughts on that video? Let me hear from the people in the comment section. Hoping that Dave, we got did we get the link to Miss McLean? And as you're writing in the comment section, I want to talk to us about this climate fraud. The climate fraud is what we want to get to in this next segment. right? And again, I am showing you that this woman could care less. She could care less. It's a lie. A lie. Just like that Minister Pinocchio. Minister Pinocchio. Lying. This is a lie. There's nothing that they say to you, right? Now, I remember us talking about this issue on the show, right? In 2023. But let me try and get some of your comments here. Yes, Carol, well said. Why would you leave your country to work for less? My argument is if these Caribbean islands have jobs, why can't the citizens stay home and work? Do not insult our intelligence. Exactly. It's not about no jobs. They know too. Yes, critical thinking by the young guys, and that's why they are leaving, Pedro. That's why they are leaving, and it's sad. Sometimes I'm sad because we're losing our best. We're losing our best. You know that is not good at all. Okay. Now, as Miss McLean gets ready to come in, I know that some of you would have seen a newspaper article by The Nation, and the newspaper article spoke about climate fraud. And I know some of you might not understand everything in that article, but tonight we're hoping that we'll be able to break it down for you somewhat. Okay. But the article I saw it today, and I'm thinking that it was in today's paper. And just a little background on the newspaper article before Miss McLean comes in, right? So the key points of the article, the story that was headlined "Climate Fraud Claim," right? The story was headlined "Climate Fraud Claim" and says that the Barbados government is one of several victims in an alleged fraudulent climate change financing scheme. Did you hear that? Again, victim. Remember, we were a victim in the vaccine scandals, two of them, right? One was clear out victim. The other one, we had the prime minister in Belize and in Trinidad. They intercepted it, but it was coming through Barbados, meaning that the Belize said that it is our prime minister. The newspaper said it, that had connected him to someone who was going to do this vaccine purchase for the Caribbean through CARICOM. Thank God for Trinidad, they intercepted it and was able to say this is a scam. So here we are again, and Barbados government is one of several victims in an alleged fraudulent climate change financing scheme. The article says the case was brought in the U.S. Southern District Court of New York by a plaintiff named FinTech Leaders Fund against a U.S. company, Tintra PLC, and other defendants, which were marketing a venture with the Barbados government to set up a blue-green bank. And I remember us talking about this blue-green bank on the show. So that is the essence of it. I'm not going to go any further. Miss McLean will take it further. So without any further ado, let me welcome her to the Marcia Week Show. Welcome, Miss McLean.
Hi, good evening. How are you doing?
We're doing good. We're really late. We're gone way past, but I tell you, dealing with some serious issues there. So my apologies on that, but take it away.
Marcia, the best way I can describe it when I saw that newspaper article is that this is starting to make me dizzy. I don't know about you, but there are so many frauds. But as you mentioned, international cases, promises of major projects. And I say that against the background of what you just said about our young people being frustrated. And we're talking in the case of the frustrated young people and the youngsters who go to our tertiary educational institutions, including UE, BCC, SJPI, expecting to come out and participate in these projects. And this morning, before I left for church, I picked up the newspaper and I saw climate fraud claim, Barbados government among victims named in case lodged in the US. I came home after we spoke trying to find some, well, like, some details on this. And again, these things break, not in Barbados, but we only hear about this because it is out there in a court situation. But my comment is that this is just another example, of course, because of what I call poor governance. This administration came into office on a promise of good governance, transparency, and all of these things. And they've gone to the ends of the world trumpeting resilience, a country intended to build resilience in the face of climate change and all of this. And all we are seeing is a situation where directly or indirectly money is being wasted. Now, I tried to find some information on these partners because at the end of the day, we need to ask the government some serious questions because the writer of this story, Maria Bradshaw, has presented some information. But when I went to look at it, I tried to find some information first on this company, FinTech Leaders Fund.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly enough, one of the things I saw was there's another court case, at least I can't say if it's related to Barbados or not, but this company is in court with somebody else.
Mm.
And my question is, who are these people? How do we get connected to these people? What are they supposed to be doing that Barbadians cannot do? You mentioned that we had discussed the Blue Green Bank, and that was back in June 2024, I think was when there was a debate in Parliament on a piece of legislation to set up this. And what Dave has put on the screen is an article which talks about the Green Climate Fund approving a project preparation facility to help establish this green bank. The first question that we are still to understand, and if you pause it there, the Blue Green Investment Corporation, the first green bank in the Caribbean, was approved by the Green Climate Fund to receive support from the GCS project preparation facility. And I think they received like $15 million. And when I see these dollars, I presume, US $15 million. I'm looking at it now. There was an actual release by the Government Information Service, and it said on July the 11th, 2023. And I read from this earlier today. You can leave that there for the minute. But it says, this particular one says, earlier today in Incheon, Korea, the board of the Green Climate Fund, the world's largest climate fund, approved US $15 million investment in the capital of the proposed Barbados-based Blue Green Bank. The Blue Green Bank is expected to have a capital base of more than 80 million Barbados dollars, and the capacity to lend Barbados $500 million. This was in 2023. They went to Parliament in 2024. And I think I sent you, Dave, I hope I did, a short video with the Prime Minister speaking in Parliament about this blue-green bank.
I don't know. Where did you send it, Miss McLean? Because we would like to see that
I
video.
think I emailed it to Dave. Tell him to
Email.
check his
Check your
email.
email, Dave, because we want to see it. We want to see it.
And the Prime Minister was speaking about that. So
Okay,
while he searches,
Yeah, he's not seeing it. Can you just resend it, Miss McLean? But in the meantime, folks, why Miss McLean does that, because I think it's important that we let me read a little bit, probably read a little bit on the screen, Miss McLean. You want this read, or this is?
I am looking for if Dave. I'm trying to see if, because you see, I might have sent it from my computer. If I try to do that, I might lose my volume on here with you. Let me see if I sent it by WhatsApp, but I can pull it up again in terms of
So you can go ahead and do that, and let me just read what is on the screen while you do that. Just focus in on that. The Blue Green Investment Corporation, BGIC, the first, always with these acronyms, the first green bank in the Caribbean. And I remember, there was a big thing, was approved by the Green Climate Fund to receive support from GCF's project preparation facility, a major step in the development of this initiative. The PPF provides financial and technical assistance to GCF accredited entities for the preparation of high potential project and program funding proposals to be considered for approval by GCF. Pegasus Capital Advisors will be GCF's accredited entity for the BGICPPF and funding proposal. Lord, I'm all tired. And this is what they do all the time, with all of these acronyms and abbreviations and all of this. And they're always, it's the same thing with White Oaks. The same thing, it would seem like it was an empty shell, according to Caswell, when they checked it out, was 2 persons that run this company in the UK. But they're always going for these overseas, these people to bring advice and to give guidance and all of that, consultation. And it reads here, this follows several discussions between GCF and the government of Barbados on the establishment of a green bank, initially conceptualized by the Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley. Who was it conceptualized by? The Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley. This name has been named in the 3. There are 2 vaccine scams. I don't know why, Miss McLean, but this name is named in all 3 things. And here we have this case. It is still in the law courts. Nothing is proven. Okay. So to help,
I just sent it. Marcia just sent. Tell Dave check his WhatsApp.
McLean.
I sent it to him.
Go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, he has it. There he has it. Okay.
Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead. Okay, he's getting it. Something is wrong. He's fixing it. Go ahead, Miss McLean.
Yeah, as I was saying, part of you mentioned it that previously we had, and I will look for the notes because we will come back to this. The question of this blue-green bank, we were asking, tell us exactly what it is. Because we had this, what I would call fairly nebulous explanation. And John Rock is correct. Minister Strong was talking about this blue-green bank. But I used to always say to students, if you can't explain something to yourself properly, you're going to have a problem. And I don't think that they've been able to explain it to us. You hear a lot of buzzwords, and they get upset with me when I say buzzwords. But we also would have heard the now Minister of Educational Transformation, Minister Blackman. He spoke about this fund too, because remember, he used to be in the Prime Minister's office. And at the heart of this, of course, is Mr. Avinash Prasad, who was the climate advisor and who I think is now a climate advisor at the IDB. I'm not sure how much he's advising was the nature of the advice he's given. He was special envoy member of the to the Prime Minister on climate finance. Mm-hmm. And he, you get all these fancy statements. If Dave could play that, you would probably hear a bit about it. And this was the Prime Minister's page. Go ahead.
The
Dave.
passage of this legislation is to create an instrument, a bank that is appropriate to the times in which we live, and that will not function as your normal commercial retail bank on Broad Street, but that effectively marries the principles of both development banking and investment banking to act as a market maker, to be able to make it easier, to be able to make it better for persons to be able to unlock financing at a time when we have a date with destiny, a race to be able to adapt and, yes, to become resilient. It is not a nasty word. I can think of other R words, and it's not that one. This word is critical to the existence of each and every one of us. And as the member for St. James Central said, more importantly, to our children and grandchildren. Why? Last year, sir, the planet Earth on which we live experienced temperatures of 1.45 degrees consistently. Mr. Speaker, it is the people of the Caribbean who came up with the slogan, 1.5 to survive. Sir, they didn't say 1.5 to jump up. They didn't say 1.5 to thrive, because that would also rhyme. They said 1.5 to survive. Because we know, sir, in the Caribbean, in the Pacific, in the Indian Ocean, that this is critical, and that if we don't be able to contain the increase in temperatures on this planet Earth, we are at risk of losing our homelands and losing our culture and losing our civilization. What this government is doing today with the passage of this legislation is to create an instrument, a bank.
Wow.
Marcia, questions for you and the audience. Having heard the Prime Minister, in your own words, in as basic as you can using the English language, what is this bank supposed to do?
I still don't get it.
You know, we hear of a marriage between an investment bank and a development bank and whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, well, that is one. What is the bank supposed to be doing? It was supposed to be established as part of our trust to achieve all that was promised in 2030 and so on. Where is it now? Has it been established? Have they been able to do business with anybody? You know, any corporate entities, any whatever? Where are we essentially as a country outside of the scandal that we are seeing in this paper? In fact, what the question I would also ask, what is the nature of the problem that Barbados has found itself in? Because anyone reading the article, well, certainly let me speak for myself, I am still asking, how exactly has Barbados become a victim? Because the article makes reference to Barbados being one of the victims. I think that's what it said. It starts, the very first sentence, the Barbados government is one of several victims in an alleged fraudulent climate change scheme involving millions of dollars that has reached the United States Southern District Court of New York. And the question is, how have we become a victim? To what extent have we been victimized? In other words, translate that into dollars and cents for me. And this is worrisome, because at the end of the day, I have to look back again and see, we receive funding. Was this approved a $15 million investment? Now, the question is, what are the terms and conditions of this US $15 million investment by the Green Climate Fund? Have they, have the have any of these funds been compromised in this scheme? And what are the implications for Barbados? You know, you mentioned the scandal with the vaccines that were supposed to be purchased, a situation where the quantity of vaccines to be purchased was multiple times the population of this country. You know, in a context when the producers indicated to the world the prices that they were going to sell these things at. Question again, nobody knows for sure. We heard that none was involved, but we may see something turn up later saying, yes, in fact, government's purse got hit. We talked about this multiple times and beyond this show in other fora in Barbados about the Hope project and the $60 million and the contracts. Interestingly enough, when you go and look at this company, because there's reference to Tintra. Tintra is part of a company that was involved in this, you know, and I found it interesting, the comments of Mr. Avinash Prasad. He was very much part of all of this. Now, if he was an advisor, and in fact, Dave, if you can, I sent you a video where there's a picture with him speaking with one of these parties to this thing. I think what's happened is that Pegasus Capital Advisors, there's that picture with him with Pegasus Capital Advisors. Now, if this company is suing, let me look, I'm looking at the headline here, in the documents filed in the court. And if you look at this, the article refers to Mr. Craig Kogot, and Mr. Craig Kogot is they say left to right, Yannick Glamaric, GCF Executive Director, Avinash Prasad, Special Envoy to the Prime Minister on Climate Finance, and Craig Kogot, Pegasus CEO at the PPF. So this is where they're signing, you know, all of these fancy commitments. Now, if I recall correctly, somewhere towards the end of this article, Mr. Prasad, who was special climate envoy to the Prime Minister when the BGB was conceptualized and is now at the IDB, said he was not familiar with the case, but noted that the claims did not sound credible. But I would want to know what he knows about the relationship between the suing company and the company being sued. Well, we see him with Pegasus Capital Advisors, so he knows them. But if you are very much the advisor, wouldn't you, let me put it this way, I'm not going to ask a question, I'm going to make a statement. I would expect, given his pivotal role in all of this, that he would know of and ought to know of the arrangements that the government was entering with any partners relating to a project of this nature. This is not a routine project. This is not a project where you're spending a few, even let me say a couple hundreds of thousands of dollars or even a couple $1 million. This is a project in which they're anticipating to do about 500 million Barbados dollars in business, a bank and so on. Bank, whether it's a commercial bank, an investment bank, a development bank, these things are supposed to be highly regulated. And people like him have a fiduciary responsibility to know what's going on. So I don't understand how you can distance yourself from this. If you did not know, it is an indictment, as far as I'm concerned, on him and on the government, on the Minister of Finance, because these are supposed to be significant projects where we are partnering with these international multilateral organizations, global enterprises, and other because this is supposed to be a public private partnership, and so on. So Marcia, it is just certainly, before we even start to delve into these things, one of those projects that makes you question how serious this administration is about its commitment to, its responsibility for the management of the resources the pursuit of the interests of the people of Barbados, and ultimately the achievement of the things they say they want to achieve on behalf of Barbados. I mean, this stinks to high heaven. I am sorry. It's just another ridiculous. You're muted, Marcia.
Yes, Miss McLean, it really does. And I think that this is something that we're going to, throughout this week, we're going to keep looking at it a little bit. And I just want to take a few minutes, Miss McLean, too. This is something that the newspaper did not mention. And I think it is important, Barbadians, that we mention it. And I want to add this to what you're saying, Miss McLean, and feel free, you can stop me anytime. And I think it is important because as I was researching it today, I thought to myself, if we have hired people there, we have put you in office, and this is your idea. We've just established through a document, not a newspaper article, that I don't think it was a newspaper article, that this is a brainchild of Mia Motley. That's what it said. Miss McLean can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I read, and that's my understanding. Now, I would think that you're acting on behalf of Barbados, that you're going to do all that is necessary to make sure that Barbados does not become a victim. You understand? Barbados doesn't become a victim. And when I saw this today, I thought it was important to bring this to the public. Now, there is a timeline that I want us to look at, and we don't even have any the time to do it. But I just want to say, Miss McLean, that this whole thing started. The proposal was the GCF received the funding proposal of the Blue Green Bank February 9th, 2023, right? February 9th, 2023. And to say that it was on the 13th of July, 2023, that the GCF board approved it. Okay? However, on the 6th of July, 2023, that would be like almost a week before, there's an organization, it's a civil society organization, and this is what I found on them, that this civil society raised some red flags. And this civil society is nothing, nobody in Barbados is part of this civil society. This is something overseas, outside, okay? So let me just read through this quickly because we don't have a lot of time. The Barbados proposed to create a blue-green bank, and we've done that part. Dave, go up for me. Right, okay. The warning signs, okay? So there is this civil society that saw some warning signs. And here were some of them. Number one, the proposal does not offer a strong rationale for creating a new financial institution. It remains unclear whether such an institution is needed. So there was a warning sign concerning governance and rationale, and this was made by a civil society group that watches over developing countries when they're going to get into these kinds of arrangements. And they actually put a full document together. And what I did was summarize the document. I'm trying to rush past, so I hope that people are understanding where I'm going with this. So then exterior body looked at the proposal and found these to be some of the challenges. This was July 6, 2023. Governance and rationale. The proposal does not offer a strong rationale for creating a new financial institution. It remains unclear whether such an institution is needed. Observers, this is international observers, question why a new bank was needed when existing mechanisms could deliver the same goals, warning it could become inefficient or poorly supervised. Again, not Miss McLean, not Ralph Thorne, not anybody in Barbados. This is a civil society group outside of Barbados, saw the proposal and thought that, oh my goodness, there are too many red flags here. You must be careful. investment criteria is missing. The lack of fully developed investment criteria is especially problematic. This is what the civil society group said and wrote it, and this was published online that I'm a layperson and I could have seen it. My question is why, out of the 28 of them there, that none of them could go and research to find out, is there any danger for Barbados? The project sought approval before finalizing investment policies. Civil society warned the generic criteria failed to demand social, economic, environmental, or gender co-benefits. The lack of fully developed investment criteria is especially problematic, and they were finalizing the project before finalizing investment policies. Number 3 issue that they found with this: unclear oversight and readiness. Prime Minister Mia Mottley, did you read this document? Did anybody in your cabinet did the research? I did this in 5 minutes today. 5 minutes. Investment criteria, unclear oversight and readiness, lack of fully developed governance structures or investment policy, and the lack of green banking experience on the part of the accredited entity, Ms. McLean. The chosen entity, Pegasus Capital, had limited green bank experience and unclear accountability lines, raising questions of concerns of weak oversight and conflicts of interest. This leads me to want to investigate Pegasus Capital. What is the relationship between Pegasus Capital, the Prime Minister, and Avinash Prasad? Because if this independent body is saying, Ms. McLean, that they had challenges with this and they were worried for Barbados as a developing country going into this kind of arrangement. Number 4, overestimated impacts. Projected demand for finance and mitigation impacts seem to be overestimates. Expected, you just read that, 5.8 billion in financing and emissions impact were seen as inflated. This, Barbados, listen to us tonight on the show. McLean did not write this. Ralph Thorne did not write this. Anthony Wood did not write this. This is a civil society group that looks out for developing countries when they're going into these arrangements, and they saw these red flags and they wrote an entire thing and they put it out as a red flag. Why didn't our 28 persons, including the Prime Minister, whose idea this was, if I took 5 minutes to find these red flags, why couldn't they find them? They said the expected 5.58 billion in financing and emissions impact were seen as inflated, Prime Minister Motley. Observers ask if direct GCF funding of existing programs might be more efficient. Miss Mia Motley. Number six, is that number 6? Fossil fuel exclusion missing. We request that the exclusion list explicitly excludes support for continued fossil fuel power generation. Without the exclusion, funds could unintentionally support fossil fuel projects, delaying Barbados' energy transition. That was, I think, number 5. I found this in 5 minutes, Barbados. Why this matters? These warnings came 2 years before the current controversy involving Pegasus. These warnings came 2 years, Prime Minister Mia Motley. You are in the hot seat. Your name is called as this being your brainchild. These warnings came 2 years before the current controversy involving Pegasus. Who is Pegasus? They show civil society foresaw governance and risk problems. Barbados must ask whether officials ignored early warnings and if due diligence was done. Or did you do this deliberately? Did you ignore the early warnings? Or there was no due diligence done? What are the lessons for Barbados? Dave, go up and say if you find, if I think I have them. Transparency first. We are saying these are some of the lessons. Will we talk about this on the show, Miss McLean? Publish all agreements
all the time.
Publish them, all agreements and government structures. Barbados, we need to get serious on this thing. There's a lot, too much scamming. Accountability always, independent audits and public reporting. Mr. Ralph Thorne wants the Public Accounts Committee to be up and running, and they don't want it to be. Local capacity, build homegrown expertise, not foreign dependence. All we do is that from 2018 until now. Building homegrown expertise, not foreign dependence. All of these consultants concerned that we are depending. We did the same thing with White Oaks, and look at where we are now. Where we are now. That, to me, in my opinion, was also a scam. Protect public funds, Mia Motley. Mia Motley. And you say I don't have any respect for her? Huh? And this is what you're doing? Protect public funds. Define who bears risk and who reaps profit. Mia Motley, listen to warnings. Go back to it for me, Dave. Thank you. We're going to vote them out too. That is true. The next one, the one after that. Miss McLean, when I met up on this thing today, I could not believe it. Listen to warnings. Civil society feedback protects the public. Mia Motley. Civil society feedback protects the public. Listen to warnings. This was prepared by us because I researched it today. But I want to give you a little this group that flagged it. Okay. I will have to tell you, Miss McLean, who the group, what the name of the group that flagged it. Lord, help me to find it.
But you know, Marcia, while you're looking, every one of these items, look at it, just look at it. Transparency first, accountability always, local capacity, protect public funds, listen to warnings. What have you been doing on your program? Raising all of these consistently and constantly, you know, and I'll be very frank. And I was glad we were able to pay the extract from the Prime Minister explaining to her colleagues and to Barbadians what this bank was about. And as I tell you, as a former teacher, if I had to mark her on that for clarity of explanation, simplicity, accuracy, and so on, nobody could walk away from there saying this blue-green bank is established. I mean, it was a lot of nice, fancy sounding words, dropping the buzzwords in the appropriate times. But as we talk about building resilience and addressing climate change, what will this bank be doing? Who could access the resources? Somewhere they asked about define who bears risk and who reaps profits, the profit. Who were going to be the beneficiaries of this? Who would access the resources? Who could borrow from this money? Who could borrow money from this entity? To do what exactly? What kind of projects did the government seek to prioritize? So in other words, so that you would know that we are generating these funds, but for a country like Barbados, where we want to address these challenges, these areas are priority. But no, we get a lot of fancy words dropped here and there. But I don't know about other people, but I have long seen through those, because when I am finished listening to anybody, the question I ask myself, do you understand what that person said? Are you better informed for it? Can you act on the person's words? Do they basically make any sense? Or are they bamboozling you with the proverbial BS? And I am concerned that all the fancy talk, Barbados' reputation is being tarnished. Because you're going to tell me we have been somehow caught up and become victims in some scandal. And one of the key architects or so named to the public will tell us, I ain't know nothing about that. That don't ring a bell for me. What were you doing?
Mm.
You know, Marcia. And I think it was one of you, I think it was Mr. Gill, when he talked about the money spent on medicinal marijuana and the fact that at the time it was about $20 million when we probably last had a serious discussion about it. That's money that could have been put into creating opportunities for so many young people. You know, and money is just being wasted, money that we are either given in grant form or money that we have to pay back. Either way, it's a travesty.
Yeah, but Dave, if Dave could check your WhatsApp and put up that on the screen, guys, and you will see that there's no way they had done any homework on this. There's none. If you're going to go into such an arrangement, Miss McLean, this is such a big arrangement. I mean, we are a small entity in my school, and you're going to go into some, I'm going to call you, I'm going to call somebody else. What do you think? So this is the GCF watch, the Green Climate Fund watch, and what they do, Miss McLean, is that they look out for developing
Network.
countries.
Yeah, a network of civil society, indigenous people, and local communities.
And it says we have a number of concerns about whether the Green Blue Bank proposal is appropriate. This was July 11th. And if this is the watch, you want to tell me, Avinash Prasad and Mia Motley, that they did not know about this? I am asking a question, and do what you want to do with me. I am saying somebody need to know, and we need to know who's Pegasus Capital. Where is it? Thank God for Maria Bradshaw, but this wasn't carried, Maria. Maria, you should go and look into this.
Well, it is there for all to read. You can go to www.greenclimate.fund/document/B36-02-08. It is there. Anybody can take a screenshot of that and go, or take a photograph of it with your phone, or just go and Google GCF Watch, Barbados Blue Green Bank, and you can see this for yourself. Or Google Observer Network, GCF Observer Network of Civil Society, Indigenous Peoples, and Local Communities. Now, Marcia, let us come back home to the Cabinet of Barbados. I don't know.
Put it back on there for me, Dave. I want the people to. I'm sorry,
To capture it, yes.
I didn't say, excuse me. This is so important because we are dealing here with facts. This is facts.
Let them go and read it. You are very right. Let it stay there while we
stay there a little bit, Dave. Stay there. Go ahead, Miss McLean.
Because what I'm saying is, as I said, I cannot vouch for how cabinet functions, no. But I would say this. Any proposal like this would have gotten cabinet's approval. Just to travel to the meeting, because this was presented at a meeting in France, sorry. There was a meeting in France that this was presented at, and so on, the bank that was created, and then all the funds and so on provided. Even just to go to the meeting would have had to met cabinet's approval. a presentation, a discussion of the intention of the Prime Minister during the 10 years I served in cabinet would have been shared and thoughts exchanged about what was to be done. You understand what I'm saying? So this
Yes.
was not, so this isn't something. So in other words, when people started to see this, the questions, some of those questions that GCF that are captured by this observer network, those questions would have been asked. Are we clear on the benefits? How this sounds fairly general or abstract or generic. Could you expand on this? Don't you think that these are questions that you'll be asked to expand? But it seems as though, these things come and they're approved. And I asked the question of having seen all of this, where is this bank operational? Let me be very basic. As I said, is this bank operating? How many loans, grants, or whatever? Who runs the bank? If there's a CEO, who is he or she? If there's a board of directors, who are they? Where is it located?
Naeem Hossein is asking a question. I'm going to check in. I'm not giving up on this one here, Naeem.
This is only the beginning.
This is only the beginning here because this thing with this Pegasus Capital, these things are seeming like they are created. They're sham companies. They're not real. Miss McLean, that's the impression, in my opinion. I don't know for sure.
They may be real companies, but my question is, doing what exactly? Who are the principals? How big? What is the experience? In here, it was suggested that this company probably does not know a lot about green financing and so on. You go back to White Oaks. Remember when people research White Oaks? This is no long-standing company with it is amazing.
But you remember that this gentleman Adams, who was a senator, he was supposed to take a large sum of money from the NIS to go and that they were going to invest this somewhere. Wasn't it in the UK? Have we heard anything about it yet?
No. What I would say about that, Marcia, it would be important to know the NIS has, according to the legislation under which it operates, very specific rules as to how monies from the NIS can be invested. In other words, you have to follow the law in accessing those funds. And one of the things that was clear in terms of the whole investment is that the directors couldn't just get up one morning, at least in the past, and take funds, because and this was one of the concerns. So that is another important issue we do not know. And I want to say this for Barbadians who have been, and because you mentioned it just now when you talked about the Public Accounts Committee, Mr. Thorne will probably not get another meeting of the Public Accounts Committee unless Barbadians can make sure that the members of government who sit on that committee and who will determine that there's a quorum attend those meetings.
Yes.
So he can call. In fact, my suggestion is that where there are issues that would normally be put to the Public Accounts Committee, those things should be put to the public and discussed over and over again, because you will not get it,
it seemed to me, John Rock is right. I think this woman has these grandiose ideas. This is what I think. And she comes to these people, and because she is she's a bully over them. I'm just speaking straight. This is just how I feel. They just go ahead with her with these nonsensical ideas and run off with them, and nobody stops to think, to ask a question. If I could find something in 5 minutes, you're going to tell me all of them sit there taking all of that money, over $100 and something thousand they get a year? plus their the entertainment allowance, plus their travel allowance, and they could not Google this?
You know what I'm going to do, Marcia, as you were speaking, and it crossed my mind, and I'm just writing it down so that I would remember to go back and look at the debate, or if the debate isn't available,
I
to look at
wanted
it.
to find that.
How many of these people spoke on this bill, and what did they say?
We must continue this tomorrow. Find it, Miss McLean. We're going to stay on this, and we want you to show you Barbadians. What we are showing you is that what they're saying is what we're trying to do. What that civil society was saying to the Barbados government is what we are trying to do here 4 nights a week. But they will not listen.
Well, I hope
because
that
Fiat listens to nobody.
You see, there's some people out there who have sought to dismiss, to discredit, to denigrate, call it whatever, the contributions of this program. But I will say this, and I say to you now, Marcia, that in the absence of your determination, Barbadians would have been ignorant to a lot of things, because at the end of the day, it is true, a lot of what you've done and this is critical. If people, this is absolutely critical. You have ignored the attacks, in fact, I mean, and threats and all of those things. But this is absolutely necessary. I cannot go anywhere, Marcia, anywhere, whether it's church, supermarket, walking down the street, go to the beach. People say it over and over. Young, old, male, female. Our eyes have been opened because, you see, you've created a forum. And I want to say to Barbadians, a forum that is not sponsored. It is not financed. The only financing that is gone around here is when they are paying the expenses of a march. And the march is not the show. And I hope people understand that the people who come on here, Dave and Marcia Weeks, are persons who have the interests of the people of this country at heart. And I tell you, those partisan voices that you hear in criticism, I say to them tonight, as we speak about this topic and the others that went before it, stick a pin, think about the issue, forget the messengers, listen to the message, and ask yourself if what you are seeing you are happy with, or you for your children, or if you would want to see your children making decisions in this way.
Yeah.
If you are okay with it, is it okay for your children, if your children were in the position to make these decisions, etc.? Would you be comfortable that they were doing it?
Good question, Miss McLean. And I have somebody on the line from St. Lucie. Because I want to touch on this, all these topics, we can only touch on it tonight because it's so many. There's so many. But by the grace of God, we're doing the best that we can. And thank you to this gentleman from St. Lucie has called in concerning the St. Lucie water situation that is dire. The water is stink, it nasty, it brown, it frothing. And here they've hired people to tell the people in St. Lucie that they must drink the stinking water that is frothing and brown. They're telling them that they have to drink it. Good night, sir. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Yes, good night. Thanks for having me.
Are you hearing him, Miss McLean?
If you could speak a little louder, it'd be better.
Turn up your sir, can you just take a pause and turn your phone up all the way, the volume of your phone, and also if you are able to speak up a little louder. Thank you.
Okay, that is any better?
Yes, sir. Much better. Thank you, sir. Go right ahead.
Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir.
It is not a good thing that I'm coming on to talk about, because I this thing is it is really, really frustrating. It has been going on too long, and people believe that the people in St. Lucie are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
That this is the easiest way that I could put it. I would ask the goodly gentleman that come on and say that we can drink the water, if he's going to move his family to St. Lucie and drink the water for the next 6 months.
So
Only
give
6 months, only after 6 months.
give us an intro into that. And I think Dave, you have that clipping where someone they were sitting at a table. I think these are persons from the Barbados Water
Yeah.
Authority, and they are saying that the people in St. Lucie could drink the water. Dave, do you have that clip? Give us some introduction. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. The thing that fascinates me, they are saying the water is good for drinking, but the tankers doesn't catch the water from St. Lucie. They go out to bring the water. So if it is so good for drinking, why do you have to bring water in from St. Peter, St. James, other parishes?
Mm-hmm.
That's one. It makes no sense. You know, and I remember when water had no smell, no taste, or no color. Anytime water has smell, it cannot be clean water. Anytime it has taste, it can be water. And anytime it has color, it certainly can be water. So I don't know if the teaching that at university know that once it come out the pipe, we can drink it. But all the people that are saying that we can drink this water, not drinking it. And then we had a minister that come in and gave $32 and thought that, you know, that he did the work for the people in St. Lucie. Crazy. You can't bathe with it. You can't drink it. You can't wash your clothes with it. I really believe that if you wet plants with it, it will probably dry up the plants. But hey, we are people in St. Lucie. We from the north. We ain't got no sense, so they can bring anybody and tell us a whole heap of nonsense, and we are supposed to just sit down and take it.
Yeah. So
Sweets.
yes, go ahead.
We're not taking this no more. Enough is enough. People have believed that the people in St. Lucie are foolish for too long.
Mm-hmm.
And there has to be a point in time where we either take off all our filters and carry them and chill them like Prime Minister desk or Prime Minister office, or we gotta do something. You know, we need to do something, because let me ask this question: how many of these people that are saying that you can drink the water would pay for a product that they cannot use? If Light Power, for example, had current coming to your house, and you turn it on the current, and it can mash up every appliance every time you turn on the current, would you be paying a bill? Would you be paying a bill every month? You see where it came from? The people in St. Lucie are paying bills, and the water is no help to them.
Right.
So I really make it make sense. No, make it make sense. I mean, a man can only take so much. You know, a man can only take so much. And man, I'm gonna tell the people that when they know what the problem is, we will feel better.
Yeah.
But don't come and tell me that it is this and it is that, and then when them test this and the test that, and I want to know how many independent people test the water. I mean, I don't want nothing that the government do, because the way that I see it, I don't know if it's trusting by the government. Everybody tell us from top to bottom.
Yeah.
You understand? People just stand up and say one thing in front of you, and then when you repeat what they say it like. So it is a major problem. It is a major problem. The government ain't planning to do nothing other than grandstand and talk pretty and talk all sort of nonsense, because they believe that having 29 seats make them the wherefore and know all and everything. the people in St. Lucie suffering. You understand? I mean, people of Barbados suffering in the whole, but the people in St. Lucie suffering for a basic right. A basic right. But the Prime Minister can fly from Timbuktu to Timbuktu and Timbuktu and stand up and talk about rights for people and all kind of thing. But she forget that the people in St. Lucie got a right that they should get clean water.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
Why should a man put in a pipe? Let me put it this way. Let me talk, Bejan. Why should a man put in the pipe to go and get a stand pipe to get water? Because the new tanks is the stand pipes. The new stand pipes. The tanks is the new stand pipes. Right? We've got some elderly people. And let me say this, don't let me get you wrong. There are some very, very good truck drivers that, you know, that comes around sometimes, and if they know that they're elderly people, they will go and they will catch water for them, right? That hadn't really happening. But I will say this to you. We were not thinking, and then you say what he's saying to you. Anytime that you had a problem, and you could have bought a whole heap of trucks, tell me that you were either in intent to solve the problem, or you don't know what the problem is. We got more water trucks in Barbados than we got parishes.
Oh wow! So they went out and bought trucks instead of
a whole set of trucks. Instead of fixing the problem, they're buying enough trucks. So you know what I tell you? You will always have to walk and go to the standpoint, which is the new tank, and the tanks are not in everybody area. So you know, look, Miss Weeks. I really this I don't know if you can hear frustrated in my voice, but this is more than me. And then let me get political. And then we're to bring the tax to get to the people at the field vote for the Barbadians party.
Really? And everybody down there suffering. But so let me ask you something though, because you know I love my St. Lucie people, but I want to say something that I find that you guys were really pushing, and then once they met with you all, I'm always wary about these meetings with these people. Once you guys had that meeting, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I probably am wrong. I found that you all backed down. You know, you went quiet. I know that before Mr. When he was alive, Alvin Toppin, God rest his soul, he was doing a lot of advocacy on your behalf, and but I don't hear anything much going on anymore, and I feel like that is part of the problem. When they said they were going to give you back $32.
Yeah, the $32. Listen, the $32 shut up a lot of people move. And let me face it.
Yeah.
You know, the $32 shut up a lot of people move. We got a set of people in this country, right? That let me get political again. When the DLP was in power, right? The cuss from the post, the cuss everybody, the cuss for and tell how big he noses and all that kind of thing. But we got a female prime minister in power now. You understand? And when they get the pressure turned off on them, you know what they say? Oh, she best. And the suffering. Then we got, I don't want to use no words. That
No, don't use any words, yeah.
So, but they just telling themselves, well, you know what? We can do it like, and then the woman got a heap of people with her that apparently can't tell she, well, look, ma'am, you're wrong.
Yes.
You gotta treat the people better, right? And then we got a man that voted for twice in St. Lucie. That whenever he opened the mouth, all he was taught garbage. He just juggled a whole heap of garbage.
Yeah.
Because I remember when Toppin was advocating for if you can get water, you can't pay your water bills. And I can't quote the gentleman because I don't want to misquote nobody. But he said words on, I don't know if he said it on one radio, but he said it on my radio. That it would be irresponsible words towards the fact that people should encourage people not to pay the water bill. I am mad and I am crazy. I might be old, but I ain't foolish. right? And he's a joker. I mean,
Yeah, but let me ask you, what all of this, sir. Here's my thing. What are you going to do? Because I mean, we can do only that much and no more for St. Lucie. The people in St. Lucie must have to decide that they are going to do something about their situation. What are you going to do?
That is a very good question. I know what we look to do. I can't say it on the radio, but I know what we look to do. But listen, I can promise you this, Miss Reese. Help is coming. Help is coming. And it ain't coming in the form of the government, or ain't coming in the form of a handle, not $32 or nothing so. Right? Help is coming. We got a man that is going to champion the cause. But I don't want to say it too much at this point in time. But help is on its way.
Well, I do hope that the people in St. Lucie, because I'm telling you, sir, if it we can do not we can talk and share this stuff on social media, but that not going to help the situation. Everybody in St. Lucie that have been have been disadvantaged by this, have been made sick. I have met people who were sick in St. Lucie, Miss McLean and Caller, from this water situation. People who have lost their clothes, people who have to go to another parish to wash their clothes. Where are all of those people? Where are you? You have to stand up, St. Lucie. If you're listening to me, you've got to love yourself and stand up for yourself. You are putting something inside of your body that could kill you.
I know that just as good as you, or even better. You know, but like I said, even if my one have to stand up and fight, I can stand up and fight. Because when you have to stand up for what you believe in, everybody, nobody's gonna want fight the fight, but everybody want the rewards. And I would say this to you, I miss Mr. Toppin daily. Because he would call me regularly and he would say, listen, we can't give up on the water fight. We gotta keep doing this. And
I know Mr. Toppin was doing that.
And you know, understand? And but I can't say that people they're happy, but I think that they were relieved when he passed away because the pressure came off.
Came off of them.
I am going to be honest. I am going to be honest, right? You understand? I am going to be honest. The take the foot off the gas. You understand?
Yeah.
And allow people to continue to do. But I've got a crew that we had assembled before.
Yes.
That we're putting it back together. Because when you sit down and listen to a man that, and my problem is this. Why of the people that talking about drinking the water don't come and drink the water?
Yeah.
Come and drink the water. Come and drink the water.
Well, you know what? I think, Dave, you have another article from the same water company, BWA, Miss McLean, and it says that not paying. Somebody was asking about if people could just stop paying a particular part of the bill, and they said no, that can't happen. Imagine these people are giving people. I mean, because even here at home, a week ago, the water that was coming out of the tap was so cloudy. It wasn't chlorine, because you know when it's chlorine, and I remember my son said, "Mom, look at the water," and I said, "Oh my goodness, I'm not going to drink it." Normally the water is good because they have these two hotels we're sandwiched between two big hotels, so they make sure that the water is good, but I am saying that they are trying to tell us that you are giving us bad service and we don't have a recourse. Dave, put up that article and let me see if the caller has seen that article. And in the meantime, what I will say, the most we can do, we'll continue to use the show. But I'm waiting on St. Lucie. I am waiting on St. Lucie. They said, look at them, say Miss McLean and caller. No adjustment planned to garbage and sewage levy, says BWA. Now, the garbage and sewage, that is attached to our water bill, right, Miss McLean? And
That's
there's
correct.
that no adjustment can be made. Listen, you all, you listen, you all just out of order and you're just wrong. You are all just wrong. Okay? People are paying anyway. I have the caller on the line. I'll deal with that another time. But caller, did you see that the BWA says that they can't make any adjustments?
They can't make any adjustments because it is the people in St. Lucie. If it's the Fort George Heights or the hotels that you talked about earlier, they will make adjustments for them. You understand? But we are the people in the north, and let me extend it. It's not only in St. Lucie, it's some parts of St. Peter as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't care nothing about the people down here. They don't care nothing about it. So, as far as they're concerned, man, they can stop their dead. That's how we see it.
Yeah.
Because that is the kind of attitude that is what they sing without saying it. If you understand what I mean.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And think that we are so stupid to say $32. $32. I mean, and get up and talking about $32 like they're talking about $32 million.
And you don't even know years to come what effect that dirty stinking water, the dirty stinking foaming water, the jobby water, what that is going to do to your body. You don't even know that.
Okay, listen to what you say. We have got some people that cannot afford to buy water.
Mm-hmm.
Believe what I'm saying to you. They can't afford to buy water. So, what are they going to do? Some of them can't afford to buy it, and some that can't afford to buy it are not in the area where they can is available to the standpoint. You know what I'm going to say standpoint by me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We've got schools. We've got schools in St. Lucie that they ask the parents to get the buy bottled water and give the children.
This is wrong.
You understand what I'm telling you? You understand what?
But those are your children, sir.
Listen to me. You would think that they will put a tank at the school and pull it up that the children can get water.
But my brother, I will say this to you, and I'm being hard on you and St. Lucie tonight. You know, I love you. I came down there and I did stuff with you all. But let me tell you something, that I will wait on you, because let me tell you something, sir. These are your children. The children you're talking about, these are your children. And your children are suffering like this. Your elderly population suffering like this, right? And I want to see the men stand up in St. Lucie. Come on. Do something. Do something. All right. We continue to highlight it on the show, but but the people have to get up. And you know, I knew when you start to meet with these ministers and so on, just understand these people are there, sir, to ensure that they are elected for the next time around. So he was wetting his pants because they even took the whole St. Lucie brown water right up to Washington. He was upset about it and they were scared, and they come up with this quick fix, so you all. And now they've come out with a team of people to tell you it's okay to drink jobby water. They have now come to tell you so that you will shut up. They want you to shut up. So the $32 to shut you up, and they have a team of experts to tell you that it is okay. You, a well-thinking, learned Barbadian, they're telling you it's okay to drink jobby water, and you are to believe that. Sir, what are your final comments before you go?
What I would like to say is that I thank you again for having me on, and I appreciate that you have kept the fight going. I will also say that I agree with you that we have backed off and dropped the ball, but it's not too late.
Yes, and
That's
we're
why I said to you that things that we are putting things in place. Only today I was speaking to a lady on the team, and she is willing that we need to pick back up this thing and run with it
yes.
because it's not getting any better.
No, because they're
And you know,
yeah.
let me show you how ironic it is. You know, it is only this evening that I was speaking to this lady about this same issue, and I recognize that you guys are talking about this same issue on the show, right? So God was working mysterious
Yes,
ways.
he does. And so now move it into action. I want to invite you. So this is a serious thing now. I want to invite you, sir, to bring a group of you from St. Lucie on Saturday at 10 o'clock, right there at Massacre Park. We will allow you or one of the persons to come on the truck and tell the rest of the Barbados what St. Lucie is going through. One of you can speak on the truck. We will even create signs for you. We have the lady that created the signs. We will have you tell me how many signs we must create, how many placards you all want to carry, and one of you come on the truck and tell Barbados what you are going through on the truck, right? But we've got to work together.
That's not a problem. Yes, that's not a problem. I'll contact you during the week and tell you. I'll try to put some people together and come up and because we have to do something for ourselves.
You have to.
We have to do something for ourselves.
Okay.
And I much appreciate what you have been doing. Thank you.
Yes. God bless you. Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, Miss McLean. Wow, it's 10 o'clock is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, oh, Miss McLean, whew.
Well, we have issues on top of issues. Every time I heard the gentleman from the Water Authority speak, and I found it. I'd be nice and say incredible to believe. I have relatives in St. Lucie, and I talked to my sister-in-law and to my niece, and the amount of money they have to spend on water. Now tell me, if water, I mean, I am drinking, this is water from the tap at my house.
Yeah.
Compare that and contrast that with that brown water. They tell me to drink that. I don't care what test they did. The fact that there's a significant difference between the color of the water coming out of my tap here, and that says that something is wrong with it. Something is wrong with it. I mean, you imagine just trying to cook a pot of white rice with that.
Turn brown rice.
Thank you. So
it's not even a joke. It's not funny because all of that is going into your system. It's not a joke.
And the guy is talking about silt, and I've asked the question before and we've heard suggestions that the water table is being compromised, and the question is, what do you do with that? Because you cannot alter. If that has happened, then you have a problem that you either have to shut those wells down and start somewhere. However difficult or otherwise it will be. But don't tell people you've tested it and you've brought people from overseas. You bring them from Flint in Michigan.
When they drink it, then drink it. They don't try that.
I find it, I mean, it's ridiculous. People complain.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness.
It just tells you, Marcia, that there's so many problems to be dealt with, but we are busy. I keep saying the people who represent us are busy, represent this country, are busy out there or refusing to listen. And anytime you raise your voice in concern of, in opposition to something that's going wrong, people want to label you and dismiss you. But these are the challenges that have to be overcome. Because if we don't do it, Barbados is going to hell in a handbasket. It is frightening. It is frightening.
Yeah, and what they're doing. Yeah, go ahead, Miss McLean.
I'm saying, and going back to what we were discussing about the what should I call it? I'm trying to find a word to describe the cabinet colleagues of the Prime Minister.
Because you're being so diplomatic.
Yeah, but I am, but I can't help. Because if I go to the other extreme, you understand? and then you will say you can't have me on your show. So no, but I mean, how? I mean, this silent to the point of being dumb, not in the words not being able to talk, being stupid. I mean, don't you read anything? Don't you ask questions? Don't you have an understanding or an appreciation of anything? Don't you listen? Don't you talk to anybody? Don't you read? Don't you follow? I mean, how can these things just happen?
Yeah.
And people then and the most irritating thing for me, Marcia, in all of this in recent times is this notion we are consulting with the people. So you bring a piece of legislation that is definitely flawed because you didn't take the time to investigate and solicit inputs before the fact. But then you're going to use that. Will we consult? If you consult in the right order, if you listen to what people have to say before you act, you don't have to just waste time and then go back and do what you should have done in the first instance.
Exactly.
You know, and this applies to this whole business of this blue green bank. We were asking months ago. I will go and dig up my notes from the time we discussed it. And certainly, as I said, my commitment is to go and follow the debate in Parliament to see who spoke and to let Barbadians, remind Barbadians where they could go and find it and understand the level of discourse that took place around that and whether people raised anything of substance. And I can bet you that less than half of the members of Parliament, in fact, let me put it another way, less than half of the people who were there on that particular day, because oftentimes those present are probably less than half of who should be there. So what you'll find is that a quarter of the, you know, probably did not. 7 is 28. I am sure 7 people probably didn't speak. So let me remind you that I use the number 7. I raise it when I look at a quarter of the 28 because you take out the speaker and the 28 persons. And I will check to see if more than 7 persons spoke on this bill. Probably not.
Yeah. You know, Neonsa said that one of the almost $1 billion collected for each of the past 7 years could have rectified the water system in St. Lucie. Because listen, Neonsta, so my memory based on the document we showed you tonight and the research, and I must say, Anthony Wood, I must give you credit because I got some of the information from you in my economic analysis, and I need to give you credit, sir, for that. But let me say that as far as what I saw there, we are 14 billion Barbados dollars, and nothing has been put yet to solve the problem for the people in St. Lucie. That is just a travesty. Really, it is. And that's how much we were worth. And that's why we say Mayor could care less. Mayor could care less. And I tell you, even if we don't get the shirts and we can get a sign with this, that is the name of the entire march is this, and everything comes underneath it. You understand? Mayor could care less. That's what we want the people to know. Come out, everybody. Come out on Saturday. They don't like us to come out. That's why somebody on here came on tonight tell me, oh, they're going to they'll soon shut down the show. Shut down the show. Which show you gonna shut down? Go and try it. I tell you.
My question is why? Why would you shut down a show? Because you don't want to hear the truth?
The PLP person came on here tonight and said, oh, anyway, they'll soon shut down the show. Shut it down. Try it.
Something else will start.
I am telling you.
They've tried.
All you have to do is try it. Go and shut it down. Okay, so we're going to get, somebody said the sign already done. And I have to see if Michelle going to get people asking for the shirts, Miss McLean. Lord help me. So we will see. But Dave, Miss McLean, thank you for coming on tonight.
You're welcome.
And thank you for your research. And we have done this. We had a couple shows on the Blue Green Bank. I remember that. And I want to thank Michelle for calling in. Thanks to former Senator and Minister of
David
Government,
Gill.
David Gill. Oh, he was excellent. And thank you to the person, to the taxi driver who called in, and to the brother who called in from St. Lucie tonight. Dave, thank you for your support. And viewers locked on, please share this. Please share it. The show is done, but you've got to share it. They're planning for this thing, but it's not going to happen. We're just going to get bigger. More people are going to join. I'm speaking it into the atmosphere. They cannot and will not touch the show. They cannot touch the show in the name of the Lord. Amen. Over and out, somebody says. God bless you all. Over and out to you, Dave.
Have a good evening.
March, we are march, march.
Cause we are marching on to progress. Time come sound the alarm, and we don't care what the BLP say or what they say we are. And we need to fight the BLP and to set Barbados free. We are blood, fire, comrades, and we march into victory. Everything them pop down, we are go build back. We are go build back better than before. Everything them take away, we are go bring back. We are be set it right and restore. Time come for ease off the pressure, cause Barbados can't take no more. We are stepping out of darkness into the light and kick down corruption. We are marching on to progress. Time come sound the alarm, and we don't care what the BLP say or what they say we are. And we need to fight the BLP and set Barbados free. We are blood, fire, comrades, and we march into victory. Everything them pop down, we are go build back. We are go build back better than before. Everything them take away, we are go bring back. We are be set it right and restore. Time come for ease off the pressure, cause Barbados can't take no more. We are stepping out of darkness into the light and kick down corruption door. Dig it down, dig it down, dig it down, dig it down, dig it down. March, we are march, dig it down, 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 dig it down. March, we are march. Hey, 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 hey. March, we are march. Hey, 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 hey. March, we are march. Marching on to progress. Time come sound the alarm, and we don't care what the BLP say or what they say we are. And we need to fight the BNP and set Barbados free. We are blood, fire, comrades, and we march into victory. March, we are march, 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 march. 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 We are marching on to progress. Time come sound the alarm, and we don't care what the BLP say or what they say we are. And we need to fight the BLP and set Barbados free. We are blood, fire, comrades, and we march into victory.
Good night, everybody, again. Good night. God bless you.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Miss McLean, I tell you, I am
It's
going
still
to.
live. It says live still.